We're way too late in this podcast to be talking about facts of NASA expeditions.
Well, let's get real. Nobody went to the moon.
Oh, here we go.
Oh. So I also, I used to play this trick on my kids when they were little, just like for funsies, that I told them I was an astronaut. And then I retired when they were born. And our middle child is still so upset about it that every once in a while he'll be like, "Dad, look at the moon." I'm like, "Yeah, I see it, bro. I've been there." And he's like, "You have not. You lied to me for half my life." It's the best.
I would have
my
another kid
brother-
just to do that.
My brother bought like this NASA hat from a thrift store that looked like old and tethered and all that.
Looks like it's been to the moon.
Looks like it's been to the moon. And so I would wear it. I'm like, "This is your dad's from
Moon
back
hat.
in the day."
It's the moon
And
hat.
they both bought into it until I told them that it wasn't true. And so, trauma, it's good. It's a healthy trauma for
You
them.
grow from that.
You grow from that.
I didn't talk around my kids for the first couple of years of their life, so they thought they were deaf.
Well, that was nice because we were able to pick the best sellers and things like that. What you found was,
Bitch, I can see you falling asleep while I'm telling my
I'm
story.
not falling asleep. Look, just try it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Two Homeboys podcast. I'm Gabriel Cohen with Classy Art. My co-host, Joe Walter with Tango Media, and a very special guest, first-time friend of the show, Craig Theiler, also of Classy Art. Welcome, buddy.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Can you hear me?
Yay! Welcome.
Yeah, do we have everybody?
We have everybody's voice. We do not have everybody's opinion. I'm the only one prepared around here.
Craig's voice is ready. Craig, are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
I'm here.
Perfect.
He sounds muffled.
I do?
No.
Craig does.
We'll fix it.
All right.
Is your shirt over the microphone?
You ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Two Homeboys.
It's not you again. You're son of a bitch.
What?
Did I say you look absolutely fantabulous?
I can't fucking hear anything.
It's a special Christmas episode of the Two Homeboys. It's a Christmas miracle I've been invited on this illustrious show.
Welcome the Grinch and Santa Claus to the
Thanks
Two
for having me.
Homeboys
It's very-
podcast.
This is a monumental moment in my career. Just fantastic.
Oh,
All right.
goodness.
Craig has lots of text to spew in his Grinch voice, but
Yeah.
we might need to move on from this bit.
We probably do, because I don't think the audio quality is going to be great.
No, it's not.
I think we should stay because I know how hot it is in that costume. And
Hell
that's what,
yeah.
that's what you get for not letting me in on the deal.
Finally, I got a beard, though.
Quite some time.
What did the Grinch say?
We've been planning this for quite some time.
Oh,
We thought it would be until the Christmas episode that I got on. And so this was, we didn't have enough time to replan.
well, maybe it could be the Halloween episode. You're in costume.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, next bit.
Hold on.
It's real bad under there.
Joe, you look good with the beard, man.
Looks very nice.
So we're Mormon now?
Do what?
Oh, my God.
Okay, sorry about that.
Great. Wow. And we're back.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to the Mormon version of Two Homeboys podcast.
The Book of Mormon.
Thanks for stopping by.
Joe, you look
Love it.
fantastic.
I love it. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
Glad to be here.
Oh yeah. Long time coming. Craig is
Real
here.
sweaty. Real sweaty.
So our office AC's on a timer. So nobody thought, like at 4 o'clock when everybody leaves, it goes to 76, 77, 78 degrees. And no, it was hot as shit before he got in that costume.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was real bad.
That's awful.
Hair still looks good. I'm glad about that.
It does look good.
Thank
And you got a nice backdrop. You know, we should have considered that backdrop for...
We did. This was actually handcrafted. You should have seen it before.
Oh, really? Did you guys just make that for this?
We built it today.
That is the bar for the Classy Art showroom that's been in process for way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The showroom in the warehouse
In
there.
Houston, yeah.
Okay. That's nice. And it's fitting. It's about time you got a bar there at the office,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Great.
Yay.
Yay.
So there you go. Now that's the end of all of the bits.
Yep.
Oh, so are we taking the ties off?
Eventually, I feel like I'm being choked by a tiny pair of hands.
And you don't like that?
Craig, was the green room up to par?
Craig?
No. I asked for a private dressing room and I got sequestered to the women's restroom because I had to hide my Grinch costume. I had no other choice.
2025, I mean.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have men's or women's restrooms anymore, right?
Yeah. Sexist. Whatever they call that.
Just try to be respectful.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
welcome, Craig, Santa, Grinch,
Thank you.
all of the...
We're glad to be here. It's nice to see the Grinch and Santa getting along. You know, they used to, it was rocky there for a while.
Must have a good therapist.
Have to. Yeah.
Craig, do you go to a therapist?
I don't, but I love them. I'm not actively going to one.
Have you been to a therapist at all in
I
life?
have. Yeah.
I mean, we're going to just dive right into the
do
deep
it, yeah.
stuff here. So what did they say? No.
What was the diagnosis?
Good. All of it? That actually leads me into a really funny story that I don't know. Neither of you know this story, so maybe I shouldn't. Huh. Well, I'll do it anyway.
It feels
Saving it
like
for
if
some
we-
other podcast?
So my mom has gone to therapy, and they, bad therapist, and so they prescribed her with depression and put her on antidepressants and all this stuff. And she apparently stayed at our house one weekend and left some antidepressants in our medicine cabinet in our bathroom. And so last night, me and my wife were playing around. I power bombed her on the bed, and she hit her tailbone on the frame of the bed and like hurt really bad. And I was like, hey, do you want me to get you some ibuprofen? She said, yeah. And so I go in the cabinet to get ibuprofen, and I gave it to her. And about an hour or so later, she felt funny. And we just kind of ignored it. And then this morning, she's like, hey, can I have some more of that ibuprofen? And I went and I grabbed the same bottle. It was not. It was something that's worded very similar to ibuprofen that I quickly Googled and figured out that it was my mom's antidepressants. So I drugged my wife last night on accident.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Was she
But
happy?
worked. It worked for the pain.
She didn't care about anything. So I wouldn't necessarily call it happy. Just it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. So she didn't like it.
The thing about antidepressants, and it depends on, well, at least SSRIs, what is typically just prescribed for depression, is they take 2 weeks to show any signs of effects because it's kind of like a buildup of chemical in your body. So unless it's like a Prozac or something, that's like an instant.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
But also,
Something
side
like
note, therapists can't give you medicine or.
I know. I don't know who she went to. It's my mom. There's no telling. She's gonna listen to this. Sorry, Mom.
But didn't you say you went to a therapist and a bad therapist put you on antidepressants or something?
No, not me. my mom.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. So
Well,
long story
could
for a
you
short
tell
question.
could you tell any difference?
Yeah, well, she really couldn't sleep last night, and whenever I was reading it, it said to like take in the morning. So restlessness is a side effect, and yeah, so it wasn't great. I apologize to her a lot.
Yeah.
So, first you physically abused your wife,
That's
and then you
accurate.
drugged her.
Yes, all on accident though. I think
And-
like intent is the question here. There was no intent.
That's exactly
didn't
what Bill
intend-
Cosby said.
I feel bad. This is
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
get off my chest, guys. Thanks for
It was
having
an accident to run that
Yeah.
human over while driving, and I know he's dead, but I didn't mean to.
me. That's right. What are we drinking tonight?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm so glad. Oh my God, is this going to be another bit?
No, I just forgot my glass on the ground because I was trying not to clutter up the bar area because Alex was on me for that. So
I am doing a repeat of the Woodford Reserve double oaked. I got to do this, right?
Yeah, you got tap.
yeah,
You got to see. Yeah. Okay.
it's a good one.
Yeah, I've done it before. Sorry, guys, ran out of time.
I'm also doing a repeat.
Screwball.
I have the
Very nice.
La Marca Prosecco,
Very nice.
a new fave.
I also have some wine here. I'm doing a 2022 Rocks Edge Zinfandel from Bella Vineyards in California.
What is happening here? Supposed to be man. This is a manly podcast. We drink whiskey.
Sexist. Sexist.
Says the guy who criticized him for going into the other bathroom.
All right. Well, I think he's out,
Are we
ladies.
supposed to open these before the show?
I mean, generally.
No, when we present a new bourbon, we're typically opening it, trying it for the first time.
That is true. That's true. Yeah.
Very nice.
We don't want it to seem like we might have tampered
Very
with
good uncorking there.
the fancy bourbons. Is this a fancy wine?
It is a fancy wine. It's one of my last remaining fancy wines from the vineyard we used to be members of back in the day.
And that was the Rock something or other vineyard.
Yeah, the Rocks Edge Zinfandel. The grapes are harvested from like a single row in the vineyard, and it's up in like Geyserville, California area, Sonoma County. So yeah, little cork there.
You got to get in close, and you got to put your hand behind it or tap it.
Yeah, and tap it maybe.
Like that.
We don't.
Tap it with the other hand. Put your face close to it. That's worked for me. There, it worked.
Yeah, there it is. Bella.
Yes.
Yeah, Bella Vineyards. Shout out.
I got my first wine shipment receipt.
That's
today.
why we stopped being members.
Yeah. So
The receipt before the wine.
yeah. So when you go there, it's all like joining Amway or buying a timeshare presentation. So you go there and it's it's all very fancy and at the end there's a sales pitch. Where you get handed a card and it's like, which membership would you like? It's not a question of, you being a member or not a member, and they're all going to ship you a certain number of bottles. Right. So I was woefully underprepared for that experience. And so we did end up joining one, and I got, the cheapest thing that I could. And then the guy sitting across from me is like, oh yeah, we're going to join. Plus we want 6 bottles of this and 5 bottles of that. And I was like, what the hell? So anyways, the first shipment, the receipt shows up and it was $292 for 2 bottles of wine.
Oh,
It's like, I'm canceling that membership
Ooh.
right away. Can you believe? I mean,
yeah. So
There's
ours used to
nothing-
be like
there's no
was.
way
We
it
had
could
2
be worse.
memberships at the same vineyard, just different
I don't know.
companies,
So
kind of
Craig,
like
did I
what you
join
have.
wrong?
Is that
Everybody's
is that a
off
technical
club.
difficulty now?
Stop talking. Wait.
We
Okay, we're
froze.
back.
And we're back.
Hang on before we go. On your screen is 2 homeboys backwards because it's backwards on mine.
It's forwards on mine.
It's forwards for
Okay.
us.
Okay.
We've had that discussion before, though.
I get drunk every time we're doing this.
Good point.
It's like the first time. Speaking of which, what's up? I haven't seen any of ours from the last one show up on my feed. Have those all been posted and things?
Yeah. Yep. Everything's out there.
Stupid algorithm.
Yeah. So I was at Nationwide yesterday, the buying group show, and I had another handful of people say that they watched the podcast. And when they say that, they mean they've seen the clips.
Yeah.
So my standard answer to that now is the clips don't do it justice. Like the full episode has interesting stuff in it, and we just don't get enough of the meat out of the clips.
Yeah, spend all the time with us. The three homeboys. Spend all the time.
I love So wait, what was
We're talking about wine prices.
Yeah. So did I get totally hosed on that deal, or is that
the vineyard that we were members of? We joined two different vineyards, all within like the same family or whatever. And one of them was we would get 6 bottles every once in a while. I don't remember exactly. It was like once a quarter or every 2 months. And it was like $180 for 6 bottles, and they were really good bottles. And then twice a year, we would get from the more expensive part of the vineyard a full case of 12 bottles, and it was like $700. But really good bottles that you can't find anywhere. They don't distribute; they only sell to their membership. But then they would stack on each other, so it's like you'd have one quarter where you got a bill for $1,000, and you're like, okay, I don't drink this much wine. I don't need this. So now we're running out, and it makes me sad. This is our second to last bottle before it's all gone. So,
and you've disconnected from the membership.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never do this again. Like there's plenty.
I would for the right one, but
yeah, I don't know. And we had a couple of bottles shipped home from the trip. Like we might have brought one home and had a couple shipped, and they weren't as good as they are there in that environment when you're on vacation. Like everything's perfect, and you get home and you're like, wait a minute, this is $60. Like for $25, I'd be very happy with what I got. So I don't think I would. I'm not a connoisseur enough to continue with this almost at any price.
So, but like, are you into like the tasting notes and all that? Like, can you do tasting notes on what you're drinking right now?
I mean,
we could exchange tasting notes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are you, hold on. I get hot garden hose.
Mine's definitely like, have you ever opened a pack of tennis balls? That's kind of the nose on this is like freshly opened Wilson brand specifically tennis balls.
Oh, Wilson,
Wilson has to be like, that's the very distinct smell.
Hold on. I got melted crayon in here too.
It's weird with this one because you get milk duds on the side. But I can't really pinpoint it. That's good. Good job, Joe. That's impressive.
I got a little...
Not to distract from the tennis ball and milk duds. But so you were at Nationwide?
Yeah.
Why are you at all the shows that we're not, and then we get angry because you're not at the shows that we are?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question.
So
we need to have a talk with Terry.
Yeah, a week before you guys were at RTO World, and Terry was there, and they got such value out of being there that he said, you should consider going to Nationwide because it's in Nashville. It's only 2 hours away from me. And, it was very last minute. I wasn't planning on going. We already had 2 people there, but it's so close. And I've never been to a Nationwide. I was a Nationwide member as a retailer, but I never went to any of the events. And so it's like, well, it's a bit of a burden with Labor Day right around the corner. So we're recording this August 20th. And so we've got Labor Day campaigns launching left and right. And so it was a hectic time to go. But it was interesting. And so just the whole thing was interesting. There's lots of appliance guys there, which I had not spent a whole lot of time in the appliance world. And they have massive displays where they've got, full kitchens built in this temporary thing for 2 days of a show. And they've got chefs there doing presentations. And I mean, it was really an impressive layout and setup. But this morning I was leaving and I was in a hotel that was separate from the conference, but there happened to be a conference of some other nature in our hotel. So I get into the elevator and another guy gets in. What are you guys laughing at?
Me being zoomed in on.
There's a whole bunch of things like Craig looking like, why is Alex coming in? It just goes.
Very aware of my surroundings. Alex is not sneaking up on me.
I fear you are underestimating the sneakiness.
So I'm in the elevator. A guy gets in from this other conference, and then we go down a couple floors. Another guy gets in, and the other guy looks at the first guy. They clearly know each other, but not enough to hug or shake hands or anything. And the first thing he says to him is, "So when'd you get in?" And I thought, oh my gosh, like every trade show everywhere, we all say the same stupid thing to each other.
When'd you get in?
When'd you get in? We're back home.
Doesn't matter what the industry is. And I was thinking, there's a casket convention somewhere, and the two guys are saying, "So when'd you get in?" That's a mission. We got to invent the next
new line.
Yeah, whatever the trade show opener is, we got to
do that right now.
That.
Yeah, let's workshop it, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move the camera to the dry erase room.
No, you can't erase what's on there.
You erased like 6 months worth of our marketing strategy.
Yeah, but I said, "Hey, can I erase this?" And you waited way too long to answer.
You used this much of the dry erase
board
to erase.
I erased it 3 times. I wrote, then I documented, then I erased, then I wrote more, then I documented, then I erased.
So let's explain who Craig is and why he access your dry erase board.
We should start the show, shouldn't we?
We should probably start the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Two Homeboys podcast. I'm Gabriel Cohen with Classy Art, my co-host Joe Walter with Tango Media, and a very special guest, first time friend of the show, Craig Theiler, also of Classy Art. Welcome, buddy.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Glad to be thought of.
So what is Craig's role? What is Craig's official title at Classy Art?
Craig is our Chief Revenue Officer.
And did you have one of those before?
No.
So you invented a position for Craig.
Yeah.
I think we made up a title too.
Yeah.
Craig, why are you at Classy Art? What was the path that led you into this Chief Revenue Officer role?
So, short story long. My past life, I was in a completely different industry. Ended up being the CEO of an industrial manufacturing firm. During that time, Gabe and I were in Vistage together, which is a CEO kind of roundtable group. And we fell in love immediately. I went home and told my wife about him. And I was like, hey, I met this guy, would love to work with him at some point, but our paths are way too far apart, right? Like industrial manufacturing and wall decor doesn't exactly have a ton of synergies until you think about the fact that it's just business, right? So it ended up working out, and God was like, no, your paths are not too far apart. And so he convinced the private equity group that I was working for to let me go. And Gabe heard I was a free agent, and he called me and he's like, I've been thinking about you. And I'm like, I've been thinking about you too. And so we got creative and made it work, and I think it's worked out well. So
there's some really great details he left out. So
I know I wanted to give you some.
Yeah. So you know, I think we bonded over a doo-doo joke.
He said
And
doo-doo.
we'll do that again. Yeah, so we bonded over a doo-doo joke. It's like, you know, when you go, we don't do this, but what we do is, and I go, and we're in like this like very serious meeting with all CEOs, and I go, and it was somebody else. I go, he said doo-doo, and everybody's like, come on, Gabe, and he goes, I got you. And he's like, and I was like, that's my guy. That's
Yeah.
my guy. And then we went on a honeymoon.
Correct.
Well, and
So
so
several honeymoons there to start.
We have, yeah.
Vegas honeymoon, New Jersey honeymoon, Atlanta honeymoon, High Point honeymoon.
the way you described your meeting makes me think, why is there not yet a Bumble, Tinder type app for finding employees?
Because it'll get polluted with the same things that probably pollute Bumble and Tinder.
But they're still successful and gajillion-dollar companies. So we're going to delete this part of the segment because we're going to take that to market. Classy has a secret.
And what is industrial manufacturing? What does that mean? What did you make?
So we manufactured a variety of things, but it was like highly engineered vertical turbine pumps, mechanical seals, pressure relief valves, specifically to go on tank barges. So being close to Nashville, you know, all the barges you see going up and down the river, the equipment that we manufactured was on those. So, and I kind of cut my teeth in that industry. I got in that industry really young. Essentially in high school, I got into that industry. So I was pretty sure I was trapped, but I wasn't. Thanks, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, thank you, buddy.
I can't imagine a high school version of Craig saying, I would love to work for a company that manufactures valve pumps and things for barges.
Well, what had happened was there was a fire protection company outside of my high school that did like fire extinguisher inspections, alarm inspections, things like that. And so I went after high school one day and went and talked to them. I'm like, hey, you know, can I get a job? And they were like, yeah, whatever. And so they hired me, and I was like a helper rebuilding fire extinguishers. And then they found out I was good on a computer. And so they put me in the office. So I was like an administrative assistant at 16 years old. And then we got bought out by one of the largest tank barge operators in the industry. So that was kind of how I got into that tank barge market. And then stayed with them for a very short period of time after high school, went to another barge operator for about 11 years, and then went to the company that I just departed last. Was there for 6.5 years.
Wow. That's great. And so what were the stops along the way to CEO? Because you're a young guy to be a CEO of a barge part manufacturing company.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, there was.
What age were you when you got CEO?
CEO 30, 33, 34.
And the size of that company, like how many employees, revs?
100 employees, 25 million a year revenue. So yeah, good sized company, really good team. 2 locations, manufactured in Indiana and did repair in Houston. So yeah, good sized company, great learning experience. But you know, the stops along the way, like I just kind of worked my way up. Like all I know is hustle, and it's always what's next for me. I'm never satisfied with what I'm doing. I always want to do more, do better. And so, you know, the company that I was with for 11 years, I started as like a fleet supervisor, which is basically a big floating parking lot for barges. Started as a fleet supervisor, went into purchasing, did night dispatch. So I learned all the inland waterways, did that for a few years, and then went back to run the fleet as the fleet manager. So now I had people reporting to me at like, I don't know, 24 years old. Then became director once I got my bachelor's. And then that's whenever I left, went to the other company, hired on as general manager, was working on my master's at the time. When I finished my master's, got promoted to vice president over Houston. And then when they let our CEO go who was the one who sold the business. He got let go. They did a CEO search, and my name got thrown in the mix. So I went through the interview process with the private equity group and ended up being selected after about a 5 or so month process.
And how did you deal with when you were managing the fleet? You had to have all sorts of people who were much older, much more experienced than you, reporting to you.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was never a huge hurdle for me, just because I know I'm not the smartest one in the room in any situation. And I think kind of that humility helps with gaining the respect of those guys. Like, I want to learn from them. Like, yeah, I need you to do X, Y, Z for me, but let's help me through that, right? What does that look like? And just making sure that I'm learning from anybody I can. So I think that went a long way. Like, age was never a real issue with the people that I managed.
And if there's a 20-something-year-old person out there who has ambition, would you say that you could become CEO, or was it just like perfect alignment of stars and skills, and it's 1 in 10,000 that could actually do that? It's not something that the average schmo, even with great ambition, is going to be able to get to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lining of a bunch of different things, right? I had really good mentors. I had really good support. I always had really good teams. And so, a lot of those things come into play, but I'm always of the mindset that anybody can do anything, right? If they grind hard enough, they work hard enough, they listen, they learn, they can do anything. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a 1 in 10,000 or whatever. It's one of those, you set your mind to it, you plan for it, you set those goals, and then go after it. So, and that was always my goal, was to be a CEO. I didn't know it was going to happen so early. I had some really important people in my career support me vocally for that. So that went a long way to get me there.
And what was your master's in?
I had my MBA, and then I had certificates in global leadership, supply chain management, and marketing.
Is that pivotal in this story, or when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter all that much?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a huge thing whenever I was being vetted by the private equity group to have that. So I was a non-traditional undergrad. So I graduated high school in 2007. I didn't graduate with my bachelor's till 2017, and I had 2 kids in between. And so I was hustling, working during the day, going to school at night, having 2 kids at home. And so, all of those kind of building blocks went a long way to, prop me up. And I learned a lot from it. It was nice to be able to go to school while holding important positions, because I could take what I learned and apply them directly the next day. So I think that was a huge thing for me.
And so would you advise your kids to get their master's?
I think it depends. It's different strokes for different folks. They're going to have their own goals and ambitions. And, it was always a goal of mine. Like, as soon as I was working on my bachelor's, I was like, I'm going to take a year off and get my MBA. That was always the plan. But they're going to have different plans and goals and dreams. So, yeah, I'm kind of the mindset, like, I'm going to support them in whatever they want to do. So
that's good. Do you have a boat?
No, but I want a friend with a boat.
I mean, all this boat stuff. I thought maybe you'd have a boat.
No,
reasonable question.
No, because I know how much it takes to maintain a boat. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, we're social people.
Yeah,
there's friends.
I want a friend with a boat.
Speaking of which, Charlie is going out with Ronnie. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, we're going on this day. Can you come?" I'm like, "What? Where was I in the planning part of this?" It's like, "Well, we're going to, they do their annual thing in the Bahamas, so it's a pit stop. I can't make it." But
yeah,
next time.
That'd be
Which
nice.
have you talked to Charlie about the reconstruction or anything like that?
No, I got to spend a lot of time talking to Jeff Lane yesterday, because he was at the Nationwide show also.
That's right. I talked to him while he was there. Actually, there may be some alignment for he and Classy and some other entities we're not going to name here, but
yeah,
sounds really good. Like, it's really promising for all parties involved.
Yeah, that's what my limited understanding of it was that way. seem that way also.
Yeah.
So, but that's actually not a bad, some of those kinds of spur of the moment invites are the best things.
Yeah. For sure.
The stars just align and you can make it happen. It's, can be better than all the planned out stuff. I mean, nobody asked me if I wanted to go, but it's fine. Like, I'm friends with those guys. I mean, I thought.
Well, if I could have gone, I would have for sure said,
I would have invited
Joe, are you going? You've missed the last couple.
Yeah, I mean, but
you moved out of Tampa and you're like, fuck that place.
But
I'm
it's
not
still nice to be invited. It's still nice to be thought of.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You're still Tampa Joe to a lot of people. You know that, right? Or Florida Joe.
Yeah.
People call you Florida Joe. I'm like, he lives in Chattanooga.
I mean,
I say that 3 times per market.
Florida Joe who lives in Chattanooga.
Hey, what are you drinking of?
Huh?
It's a nice cup.
I'm out. I quit. Y'all gonna have the show. Get the fuck out of here.
He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it. He'll be right back.
Fucking bullshit. Took me a year to get one. It's my show. That's awesome, man. Congrats that you got.
Thanks.
Cheers.
We got
Cheers.
the number on it. It's got to be a 3.
Still the right number.
It's got to be a 3.
That would have been funny if you had with a 3 on it.
Oh
my gosh, that would have been funny.
We didn't think about that. We should have looped Gabe into this.
I thought about it for a second. I thought for us not to sabotage the plan that we had. I felt like it was important for Craig and I to bond a little bit, but I did for a second think, what if I told Gabe and then he had a Christmas outfit on too, and then it was a surprise
like
on
a surprise. Yeah. But it's a good lesson for Gabe for this is what happens when he leaves me and you alone in Vegas together.
Yeah.
That's how this happened.
I'm glad. I mean, shit. That was awesome. I mean, I think it was perfect. Leave me in the dark. Surprises. They're fun.
It was fun. That was a hard surprise too. Shuffling this Grinch costume around and.
My part was easy. Craig's part was hard because he had to do it all in the same building that you're in.
Right. And the heat. I mean, he's still sweaty.
I'm still red from it.
Wow. Yeah. The good news is it doesn't really come across on camera.
Thank you.
What is that deer head that you have stuck in the top?
Me and my wife got that little aerator on our honeymoon in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's a little elk guy.
Tap it, please. Can you?
Look at him becoming an influencer.
That worked.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people do that.
I've been practicing.
So they call it an aerator.
Narrator.
Narrator. It's a narrator. Because I swore those were just the little Christmas gifts they gave you with the bottle of Jaeger for many years.
I've never gotten one of those, but I've ended off Jaeger for 20 years. I've done pretty good.
You what?
I don't drink Jaeger at all, so.
How dare you?
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's very few people who intentionally drink Jaeger. It's kind of like that. Hey, here's a Jaeger shot. You want it? All right, yeah, I'll have it. But I mean,
all the Coens love it. Even my dad. My dad doesn't drink, but he will tear that shit up.
Like, would he go someplace and order it, or will he drink?
Well, he doesn't drink
in front of him.
He doesn't drink, but like at my wedding. He wanted to drink, and that's Jonathan's go-to shot. And so actually back then it was mine too. Like for my birthday, people would bring me Jaeger. I remember I got a case of half-gallon Jaegers from my rich Russian friend, but at the wedding, Dad was like, "Oh, it tastes like coffee. Bring me another one." He got all shitty drunk. He loved it. So
nice. Well, your story is not terribly dissimilar, Gabe, from Craig's, at least as far as like being a young CEO and being surrounded by, or being in charge of sort of older folks who've been doing it a lot longer.
Sure. Yeah. I guess you're right. A lot of similarities, but a lot of differences too, right? So I brought with me the CEO president title of a company that me and Jonathan and 3 guys in the warehouse. So who was I leading? Really nothing. I had to build the role around me, if that makes sense.
Oh,
right.
gotcha.
So, but I did have the challenges of the older generation thinking, just developing that respect. It didn't take long, but I was really young. So I came in CEO, 25, 26 years old. Hey guys, I'm your new boss, and
Well, and all the customers too. All of your customers had to be older than you.
oh yeah.
And
Still
probably
are.
significantly older.
Yes.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. But yeah, but yeah, it didn't take too long. Once you started growing and creating systems and getting people in that could help us row the boat and those things. And like anything, I think respect is earned. So we had to earn it because it wasn't just me, right? Jonathan had the same uphill battle with the respect and getting that, because it's hard to lead somebody that doesn't respect you. And so that very much was swimming upstream. It was very difficult, but we were determined. And so, the rest is history.
And was there ever a discussion about what do you call yourself? Like in your position, you could be called the owner, you could be called the president, you could be called the chairman of the board. Like there's so many different things that could describe sort of what you are. And if you're Bank of America, I guess there's some rhyme or reason to who's the president and who's the CEO and stuff like that. But in a smaller company, how do you decide, which of those things you're going to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. You know what? And actually, I'm thinking back, and I want to say if I called myself VP Sales and Marketing at one point, or did I call
It's on our website.
Wasn't?
Yeah, it's on our website still that originally you and Jonathan came in as he was VP of Operations, you were VP of Sales and Marketing.
Yeah. So, okay, I didn't make that up. So yeah, that's how we came in originally. And then I don't know. At one point we had a VP and we moved ours, and I don't know. Titles are fugazi, right? Well, we have a lot of fun with titles here.
Yeah. My dad was essentially the sales manager for a mattress factory, and the owners were the owners, and they didn't really have titles. They just were the owners. It was a family. And he started, as the sales manager, kind of the key accounts guy, and he had big customers like Macy's and Rooms to Go and things like that. And so he adopted the title of president, or they gave him the title of president. He was doing the same exact job as he was doing as a sales manager, but they felt like it was better for the customers to feel like they were dealing with the president of the company. And so that was, so how did he became the president of the company? Was just, as another sales tactic with the customers.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of art to giving titles, and from so many different perspectives. Because it shouldn't mean anything. I don't think, a human is a human. The message is the message, whatever you're trying to communicate. But it really does carry a lot of difference. So, like, if let's say a retailer is having some issue, and Sarah, our order processor, is trying to solve that problem and gives a solution and blah blah blah, and maybe they're still irate or whatever, and then I'll get on like, hey, this is Gabriel, I'm one of the owners over here, or I'm the CEO, whatever. I'm given the same message, but it's received differently. And I think as humans, especially if we have an issue, right, like you just want to be heard, and so maybe hearing from that person you're dealing with every day isn't enough. And so, and a way to empower some of, people who aren't CEOs is just give them some fucking title. Oh yeah, I'm director of blah, blah, blah. And like all of a sudden they can get more across the end zone. But, we're a little different because like we make up titles all the time. Like We just have fun with it. But for us, humans are humans. But it's the same with customers, right? Like you have a rep who's been working with this account for 20 years, and now he's or she is pitching them classy art, and then they come into the showroom, and all of a sudden they just want to talk to management. Like they're not interested in talking to the rep. They don't mind that they have a rep, but they want to talk to somebody inside, right? So whether it's me or even Sarah or Craig, so it's just really interesting how people like react to different titles and statuses, and I don't know.
Yeah, my mom worked at Chase. That's where she retired from. She was in the mortgage department at Chase, and she was a VP. And there was like 1,000 VPs.
1,000 VPs.
Thousands. Yeah.
I got 200 VP Chase cards in my desk.
Yeah. And it's like, at what point does it lose meaning when everybody's a VP?
Yeah.
So I've struggled with that. When I had my first business, I didn't put anything on the card, and I didn't want to be where the buck stopped. And so I invented a fake person. So if somebody would call, I would say, well, you got to talk to Bob Schmidt about that. And Bob Schmidt was an invented person.
Love that.
And then I would say, well, he's really only here from 8 to 10 in the mornings most days, and we didn't open till 10, so there's nobody there.
That's hilarious.
But
I have a correction.
Great. And then years later, people would be like, hey, I've got some great advertising deals to talk to Bob Schmidt about. Is he around? I'm like, nah, sorry, you just missed him.
Damn. So I have a correction. We did have a CRO once before.
Oh.
We did.
Was it that stand-up comedian?
At all, huh?
Was it that stand-up comedian?
No. Oh, God. I'm not even going to give him any shouts out. No, that wasn't it. He was just a sales manager and a mama's boy who ran home and cried to mama. But we'll save that for another day.
Detailed.
No, it was one of Ken's friends, actually. Older guy. Forget his name.
So I'm glad that you're talking about somebody else, because I thought this was the way you were going to fire me. No, we actually did have a CRO before. It didn't work out. By the way, Craig.
Hey, Craig, I've been meaning to talk to you.
That stunt you pulled earlier?
It was a different world. It was a different company. And, but no, like I will say that Craig's title really does encompass his kind of role and function. So he is kind of over anything revenue producing. And that continues to grow. You can't just suck it all in at once. Some girls can. Whoa. Like the marketing piece, he hasn't digested yet. We haven't started that. He's still getting his arms wrapped around a lot of the things, but he's done. Craig is one of the fastest learners I've ever met, and really, really so good with people. Just a great manager of people, and just his time and efficiency and everything he puts out. He hasn't done and I don't mean to blow smoke up your ass, Craig, but
no.
Yeah, bend over. Let me get it directly in there. But really all his work is just chef's kiss.
Yeah, thanks. No, I mean, the details matter a lot to me. Like my whole goal coming in here was how do we scale the right way, and how do we bring our people with us? So when you kind of have that mindset as you go throughout your day, like you want everything to be done the right way the first time. Even if it takes you longer the first time, you want it to be a result that's scalable moving forward, to where if Craig gets hit by a bus tomorrow, the company doesn't stop. Like that continuity piece is so important to me, to make sure that we're putting things in place that are sustainable and scalable, and as simple as possible for our team to manage and do effectively. So.
And I think, this all translates beyond the furniture industry, right? So like any company that's growing, like these things are important. And another thing that's important is, he mentioned like scale and take all the people with us, but sometimes you find people that are rowing in the wrong direction. And when you're in my position and in my perspective and in it for 20 years, maybe you're not able to identify those people who are rowing, or maybe you have this really deep love for them and appreciation for them, and sometimes it's hard to rip that Band-Aid off. And so bringing that outside perspective and kind of just lifting the veil for you is important, and that's happened quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so, Craig, when did you start there?
January, the week before Vegas. Don't get me lying on a date.
No. So this year, 8 months ago, you've been doing this for 8 months. So you still have a lot of outsider perspective, because most of your life still has been spent outside of the furniture industry and the wall decor industry. So what do you see that is the biggest problem, or where are we most deficient as an industry? Now that you kind of been in it long enough to see how it's working, but you're still fresh from the outside of the industry.
Yeah, I mean the biggest deficiency is really tough to pin down, right? I mean, you've got so many small businesses, right, that you have some that have really inefficient processes, some that don't have highly skilled people or highly trained people, and then some that have all of that, and then you've got all the mixes in between. So, I'm big on having the right people, building the right processes around them, because it all starts with people. You can't have a good process and you don't have the right people. The process won't work. So it's a little combination of both. So, and I know that's kind of a broad answer, but it's difficult to give a very specific one because it's a vast industry.
But we can narrow it down. So let's ignore the majors for a minute because they're doing fine. And as you know, our industry has consolidated year over year over year. So if you're speaking to the independent retailer, what do you find is the most common thread that they can improve upon to prevent them from being the next GOB?
Yeah. And I mean, I think it comes down to, especially with the independents, like there is very simplistic data analytics you can do to take out the guesswork, right? And that's a big part of it is like if you're just guessing at what to put in your store, you're guessing what specials to do. I know three homeboys talk about AI all the time, right? Like utilize those tools that you think maybe are meant for bigger people. Like you can do so much with an Excel file and Chat GPT to make your business run more efficiently. And for those small independents, it's doing that, right? And not getting, I think the biggest thing that I see is like getting stuck in the rut where you've got the same independent doing the same thing every time and they're just doing okay, but they don't really know they're out of business yet. Or they do kind of know they're out of business, but they don't know how to pivot and make that move. So, like furniture's furniture and art is art. And if you're only presenting it in that way, then it's going to get stagnant and stale. And like if I owned a retail store, I would be constantly changing all the time and leaving consumers guessing at what's next. And so I think like there's not a lot of mystery for me with what some of the retailers are doing. And the ones that do really well kind of build that in. It's a little unpredictable. And so I think, getting creative with it, like don't just look at it like it's a furniture store and you've got art on the walls. Get creative with your marketing, get creative with the way you're reaching people, right? We try to do that from our perspective, right? But we're trying to reach, X amount of retailers and our retailers are trying to reach an almost infinite amount of consumers. And so how do you get creative to engage more people?
Yeah. Good input. I had a in my Vistage meeting today, and I have notes to talk to you about it, Craig. Hartej came, Hartej is super.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he owns dozens of Subways, 50 plus liquor stores, retirement homes, dudes all over the place. He fucking making, but he's so calculated. He's so organized. He has incredible systems. I've never seen anything like it. But one of the things he was talking about today was, so he has these 2 retirement homes. One of them's always at capacity, and the other one's been failing. And he's been trying to get a good salesperson in this one and a good director, and nothing seemed to work. So So what he did was he went to ChatGPT, and for those that don't know, you can build your own GPT. So you should be teaching your GPT. So for example, I want this GPT to be my HR department. So I'm going to teach them everything about our
Yep.
core values and what we're looking for and who's worked, who was. So you build that stuff in. But anyways, he asked it, he said, I want to build a system by which I can rate sales calls on various components. What should I be rating them on? What should I rate this? And so it gave out this list of metrics or variables. And then he says, okay, now I would like to give you recordings of these calls. So we all have some sort of digital phone system, right? So we use 8x8, some use Ring Central, whatever. Nobody's using fucking AT&T landlines anymore, right? So they're already recorded. So he sends it, 15 or 20 of the good salesperson's sales calls, both inbound and outbound, which I think should be separated. And he goes, so using the scales and the metrics you just gave me, please rate these calls. And so it gives them this like report for each call. Like, this is what went well. This is what this person did very well. This is where they could use some work. Here's what I would have done differently. Here's the scores for each of those metrics. And it was like, I was like, whoa. Like, it was incredible. And by the way, I wrote it down so that we can talk about it and implement it here, because it was fascinating.
And so from a automated standpoint of that, because I don't know how manual that is feeding in those calls, and maybe it's not. But that's exactly what Contivo does in NetSuite, is it will rate calls based on parameters you put in there.
Yeah, I know Contivo, but Contivo is expensive as shit.
For
It's
sure.
significantly morely elaborate, and not all of our listeners have NetSuite. So
Right.
I'm bringing this concept of
Not
a
all of
simple
our listeners
2-hour project can help the independent retailer.
Right. I was saying that for us.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would really love if this channel or this podcast became a platform for that independent retailer to learn and go execute. I think a lot of people do take the time to learn and then fail to execute, and everybody's afraid of change. And today's speaker was talking about change and how good it is and how to cope with it, and humility and being vulnerable and listening to your people and shutting the fuck up. And so, we know the world's always changing around us, and we've said it a million times. The 20 years I've been here, the retailers that don't change die. It's just a matter of time. You said they're dead. And some of them already know it and don't know how to pivot. But I would really love if we could, on this platform, arm these retailers with the what to do,
And
so
one of my frustrations with our industry is that some of them don't seem to be willing to do anything. They're
almost to the point that they're not worried about it.
Yeah, they're so fixated.
If it works, if it doesn't.
Yeah, and this is how I've done it for 20 years, and I've been very successful, and I've got a boat.
Will you tell me who that is that has the boat? Because I want to be.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody's got a boat.
They're getting the deals. But it's also, they may not know. So they're dead.
Yep.
They're dead, but because they don't have a control of their finances, they have nobody presenting financials. They don't know the slow bleed. They don't know their burn rate. They don't know their break even.
Well, and that's
which is ridiculous.
So
that's 101.
Frustrating, because you tell them, and even little easy things, like, if you did this, it's not a lot of money. You need some help in this area. Change your light bulbs. You should have not burned out light bulbs in your store. I mean, some of the stuff is really easy, and guys are like, oh yeah, I know. Yeah. And then it just doesn't happen. It doesn't get done.
Craig's about to explode. He has something to say.
Well, I mean, like my gears are turning, right? Because I love helping people, especially like sort through business issues. So what if like I love the podcast as a vehicle for that? But what if it was a monthly seminar that we blast out to all of the dealers that we know of, hey, we're hosting a seminar this month. It's an hour long, and we're going to address XYZ issues that you may be facing. And we address those in very specific details and then provide worksheets. Now, this is far-fetched, right? Like, far-fetched in terms of bandwidth to actually execute on this.
Right.
But, provide the handouts, email those out after the seminar or right before the seminar, have people sign up to where you have a Zoom call with 400 people on the call, and we're actually presenting and addressing a very specific issue that we see in the market that likely is affecting them.
Yeah, from a bandwidth issue, right? It's borderline impossible, but just a quick, like, put out an hour-long video. Here's the topic.
Yeah.
And you can go get it. And it has nothing to do with art, has nothing to do with tango. It's
just helping the business
how to do better. And so, like, let's do a real simple one right now that'll take 3 minutes. And I'm talking to the independent retailer right now. If you don't know what a burn rate is, let's start there. A burn rate is how much cash is going out every month. So the reason that's important is, your margin. Let's take your average margin, okay? And you need to identify what your break even is. So let's say, and I'm going to use real simple numbers. Let's say your burn rate, and go ahead and calculate. This is your fixed costs. So your electricity, your staff, your rent or mortgage, all of the things that have nothing to do with how much you sell. That's your overhead. Go calculate that. Then let's say that's $10,000 a month. That's your burn rate. If you are at a 50% margin on average, meaning you buy something for $10, you sell it for $20, you now know that your break even is $20,000 a month. You need to sell $20,000 worth of product at a 50% margin to cover your overhead, and you have not made $1. So now you have a very easy metric to know on your daily sales, and you could break it down weekly, you could break it down daily. So if your salespeople did not hit that break-even number, and it's a very easy KPI that you could look at every day. Let's use 30,000. You need to sell $30,000 a month to keep the fucking lights on and stay in business and not make $1. Now you know that if your people didn't sell $1,000 yesterday, you're going in there and you're saying, hey, what was your close rate? Why didn't we sell $1,000? What, did the advertising not work? The people weren't coming in? Now you're looking at why on a daily basis, as opposed to finding out 3 years down the road, you've ran out of life savings and you're out of business.
And
so go ahead.
Keep going.
This is as basic as it gets, and I don't think independent retailers are looking at that. And that is as basic business as you're going to get. So we can build on that. But if you wanted one thing from this podcast, take that, do that, and know what your burn rate is and what you need to sell per day to get that.
And I'd like to go even a step simpler than that, based on the experience that I've seen. And this is why I am skeptical of any advice that we give, because I think they just don't do it. Even easier than that, go to your website and make sure that the sale that's listed on your website is not Memorial Day. It's Labor Day. We're dealing with people that do that. And I catch it because I'm on their website, but I will see somebody, I'll go there to make sure that the July 4th sale is taken down. This actually happened, which is why I'm using this specifically. And Memorial Day was on there. So July 4th had already ended and Memorial Day was on their website. And I shouldn't be the one noticing that. Like, this is a really important part of your business. This is for a lot of people the first place that they find out about you. And then you have something that simple. It's totally free. It takes only a second. You don't even need a calculator. You know, it's nothing. Just make sure that that stuff is up to date. And we can't even get them to do that.
So let's say a simple action item. If you are posting something, if you're putting something up that is dated, has an expiration, be sure to add to your Google Calendar the takedown date to remind you.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and visit
I'll
your
take
own
a-
website once a week to see what it's like for a consumer who you want to attract into your store. Does visiting your website inspire somebody to get in the car and come in and add your business to their shopping list?
So I've got a couple of points. One point on each of what you both just said. The good thing about, or one of the good things about being really fresh to this industry is I look at things through a consumer lens. And if I saw that website you're talking about, I would think that they have been out of business for a few years, and it wasn't like I wouldn't even consider that they just got the date wrong or the holiday wrong or they forgot to take it down. I would think that they were out of business regardless what Google said, and I wouldn't go.
Right.
And so that's a consumer perspective of like how important that is, to make sure that like it's just accurate or it's timely. And like you said, it's simple things that can be done, but from a consumer lens, like I think that company's out of business. So, yeah, interesting point. And then back on the burn rate and break even more important than you measuring it and addressing it with your team on a daily basis or weekly basis or whatever cadence you choose is making it visual for them, right? So it's a simple chart, dry erase board, in the management office, in the break room, wherever, and you just chart the week, and the days you're below break even are red, the days you're above break even are green. You talk about the wins and you talk about the losses, what you can learn from both, right? So it's not just talking about the losses, it's when you win, what did we do different today? How did we win? How do we harness that and do more of it? And that charting and that visual is so important, and I equate it to bowling. Go bowling and cover up the scorecard. And when you do that, bowling is just work. It's not fun anymore. It's just picking up something heavy and throwing it. And when you put up the scorecard, now it's competitive and people know what the score is. So if your employees don't know what the score is and they don't know if they're winning or losing, then you're missing it right there. And now it's just work. It's not a competition. It's not fun. They're not, what are they trying to achieve? And I can go on and on about the visuals and all of that. But I think, just tying it to the break even and that burn rate, it's important. Just let your team visualize how important that is and how it affects them.
Well, they have to know what it is first.
And
I mean, I agree with everything you just said. But we're saying these people don't even know that. Put it up.
So Craig, in that example, do you give the employees do you drill down to this is the profit that the company's making or something like, or is it just a number that you say like, look guys, we need to sell 58 pieces of art today. And so it's not really getting into the weeds of, our margins are this and that, it's just some number that is the important number.
Yeah, so it varies based on the company, based on the department. Now we're talking larger companies, but I only give the information to the people that need it based on if it impacts them, right? Will it matter if that employee knows margin and gross profit? Does it benefit them if they achieve over gross profit? Or do they just need the sales number? Like, this is the number we need to hit. You don't need to know necessarily everything behind that, but this is the number we need to hit, and here's why that impacts you. And so it varies based on the person, based on the role. But I tend to be an oversharer because I want to bring people in and I want to teach them and I want them to learn. And so I'll overshare with the right people of, more granular detail if I think that they're capable of ingesting that, capable of learning from that, and it empowers them to do better.
And do you have an opinion about like what the goals are for the company? Can we motivate an employee by achieving the goals of the company, or do we have to make those goals specific to that employee? Like,
Yeah,
if you want to get Classy Art wants to get to $100 million this year, is that the goal that gets conveyed to the employee? Or is it, if we get to this benchmark, you employee get this amount of money or this amount of time off or this amount of something?
Yeah, it depends on the individual and what they're motivated by. Some people want to do good just because they want to do good. Some people are very much what's in it for me. And what, specifically am I going to get if we get to X? That was one of my challenges in my past life, is you couldn't overshare, because if you overshared or you gave them more than they could handle, it was everyone in your office the next week asking for a raise because the company beat a goal. And then you had to explain, like, hey, yeah, we beat the goal in that 1 month, but here's all the things behind it. And it was just this wormhole you don't want to go down. So it very much depends on the individual. But, the higher character people and the people that we want on the team, for the most part, the people that we have on the team are people that want the business to do good because we're all in it together. And we know that if the business does well, we're all going to do well together. And so we're all going to come together, and that's not necessarily quantified, but they know us as management, how we take care of our own and how we're going to take care of the people that brought us here. So
we built a culture of that. Not everybody has that. So
no, for sure.
If they don't have that, then the incentives need to be based, monetary or otherwise, need to be based on KPIs or metrics that they are directly influencing. So if you're a salesperson, it should just be revenues.
Right.
If you have some control of cost of goods, then maybe your metric is margins, right? And so those are what for me at least, how we build incentive programs around the individual in their function. But also like sales reps, right, where it's commission only, who aren't every day inside the company. Going back to his point about people are motivated by different things, and so these guys are commission only, and the money should be the motivator. But what you find is it's not always the case, and it is a lot of the times. But then you'll have like a contest, and this guy who hasn't done anything came out the woodwork to win this contest. And the reality is he made way more in commission than he's earning it by winning the contest. But he wants that I won thing. And so everybody's motivated by different something else. Some people are motivated by, hey, this is the family and we want to do well for the family. Everybody's motivated by different things.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like today, I was looking at our KPIs, and I told ladies in the office, I'm like, hey, we're here. Let's shoot for this, right? We're 10 days from the end of the month. I want to shoot for this number. Let's shoot for this number. And that was all I had to say. And they're like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Right. And that's the culture that we have.
And you didn't have to dangle an award or a prize.
We're different though.
We're different though. I'm telling you, I've been to so many companies. What we have is very rare, but it's not impossible, right? You can build that culture. It starts with how you treat your people and how you engage with them. Like at the end of the day, people want to feel like they matter, right? Regardless of what they actually tell you. And I say that anywhere I go is like, furniture doesn't matter. Art doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. At the heart of it all, people matter. And if you treat people like they matter, then you'll build a culture like that, right? And Gabe and Jonathan and their mom and dad have done a phenomenal job of building that culture and cultivating that. And so it's nice to be able to walk into that culture that you just have to continue to foster what was already built, because it's a hard thing to get to. So,
but I want to say something, and thank you for saying that. We didn't build anything. We didn't build the culture. It just is because, and the because is vulnerability, authenticity. right? And so to us, people really do matter. So we're not building a culture, and you see these corporations spending billions of dollars to create this culture, and it's just a facade.
Yeah.
You know, like we live it, and our people know they're crying, we're crying with them, right? Like we had a breakup in the office, somebody got, you know, like we're there with them, like so.
I heard about that.
We so it's different, and if you want to build that, it starts with you being honest and open with your staff. And you know, like I'll come in, I'll have a long face. Craig will say, "You need a hug?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." You know, and like,
And he says,
we're
"Give
all
me
there. Yeah. Give me not that. Don't give me that side shit.
He's been waiting for you to say you that.
That happened this week, as a matter of fact. That happened this week.
Yeah.
And that is the culture we have here. And so, but it's not something we tried to build. We are just, our company is truly an extension of us and who we are. And so I would challenge business owners to stop being the boss, stop being who society tells you you're supposed to be as a CEO. Just go in and be a fucking human and operate a business.
Yeah. Lead with your heart.
Yeah.
How much drink is left in your bottles? I just want to make sure we're on the same pace. Like,
well, mine's way harder.
Whatever, Gabe. Just don't make excuses. So
fucking bullshit.
How do I do it? There it goes.
Oh, so, no, you got.
Gabe, you want some wine?
Nursing. I'm down. Like, I got only this much left.
Gabe, you really should try this wine.
The two of you got to pick up the pace.
Come on. He's bringing it. What are you gonna put it in?
To come get it. I don't know, Alex.
He's coming. He's coming.
You got that fancy bar behind you with all those Miller Lights, and you don't have any glasses?
It's not open yet. We shoved the thing. Oh, look how clear it
got. You got a collection of hot Miller Lights.
I got
yeah. Shaken.
Dusty
been
coffee.
On
dusty coffee.
Freightliners coming back from High Point, the leftover beer.
Gotta take that out, I think.
So John and I never buy beer for the house because, like, after market, like whatever's left, you can't just leave it there.
Is it bad?
So it always just ship it back, and then we split it up, and
then you do a transaction in the ledger to assign that to personal income.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. I'm so glad you brought that up. It's quite a complicated journal entry, but we do it.
Yes. We got to make sure we clarify that for the.
Mm-hmm. Well, fucking Craig's admitting to abusing his wife and drugging her on camera. I'm gonna be all right with my
Yeah.
The law doesn't care about intent.
Hey, Gabe, there's a surprise coming in for you. It's called the waterfall, because we don't have anything other than a dusty cup that's readily available. So
you're just gonna get it poured right into your mouth.
Jesus, what are we in fucking Cancun?
This is the booze cruise. Oh no. This is great video footage, by the way. Like
that was a terrible angle for Alex.
Do it exactly so nobody can see it.
That is delightful. Here, pour it in this Zen container.
Tell you, it's good. It's good wine.
That is good.
Craig, are you?
I don't know. Did we catch it? My neck fucking hurts from. Yeah, you had me there for 3 minutes.
Are you a zinner?
I love this. Body is fueled on nicotine, caffeine, and alcohol most days. There we go. There's the good stream.
There we go. Yeah. Turns out we didn't need Alex to hold it.
So yeah,
I feel like an elk. I feel like an elk just spit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you liked
it. You got baby birded buying it.
It was hot.
Yeah, so I like nicotine, unfortunately. Thank you, sir. So I vape. When I can't vape, I'll do the pouches. I prefer the vape. I prefer to quit. I'm just not ready to yet. Like I'm a big fan of doing what I want to do, and I don't want to quit yet. So that time will come, and I'll do it. But
well, also, and I talk about this pretty often, and most people don't know this, that nicotine is one of the most studied and strongest nootropic. And for those that don't know what a nootropic is it really helps your brain function at higher levels. So nicotine is actually good for your body. The problem is it's addictive.
Yep.
There is no negative effects to your body from nicotine. So it's just finding the safest way to get that nicotine.
Yeah, because there's negative effects on your body from the delivery mechanism of
Right.
the nicotine.
Correct.
Right. Yep.
But so far as we know, Zins or other, I don't, not sponsored by Zyn, but there's an infinite number of those. Those pouches are so far the safest delivery. You know what though? What about the gum? I mean, tastes like shit, but that might be.
So my dad
patch.
used to chew tobacco for forever, and that's what he does, the nicotine gum now. And it's fine. There's just not a good one. Like it loses its flavor so fast that it's like the what's the little rainbow horse gum from back in the day that the joke is like,
Juicy fruit.
Juicy fruit. Yeah. Like that's how long it lasts. So can we like stand up and take ties off now? Are we there yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
Perfect.
You just take your whole shirt off.
Do whatever.
Hey,
you
change
want.
the microphone.
I
Next,
want a
Mike.
juicy fruit flavored Zyn.
You know, I had one of the ones that you don't like. What was that called?
Rogue.
No, not Rogue. The ones that from Kill Tony.
Oh, I don't remember the name.
I don't either. But
Oh my God,
Nick-
have you seen Timmy No
Nick-
Breaks?
I love Timmy No Breaks. I didn't like him the first time, honestly. I liked him.
Who is
He
he?
was way more personable the second time.
Timmy No Breaks on
Timmy No
Which one is
Breaks.
he?
Kill Tony. He's like a little Andrew Dice Clay
He's from New Jersey.
ish.
He's
I'm
kind
thinking,
of fun. I don't think Andrew Dice Clay's funny, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Well, I mean, now he's not,
young.
but
In his day.
he was.
Okay.
Yeah, when you were a 12-year-old, when
wee
I
lad.
was a 12-year-old, he was the funniest thing you ever
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah, he was a legend.
Because nobody was talking the way he talked, and except for other 12-year-olds.
So Andrew Dice Clay is a great example, right? He's still popular just because of notoriety, but he hasn't changed. So he's not funny now. And so if our dealers don't change, they're not going to be selling the way they're selling.
It's fair. That's a good point.
I mean, it's the same there. We have Andrew Dice Clays in this industry that they were good once, and now they're just fine.
What worked in the 80s doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily
work in the 80s. It's what we've always done.
Yeah. The late 80s.
Well, so I'm going to dive in and I'm going to kind of drill Joe a bit.
Oh, thank you.
Man.
God.
Joe was an independent retailer,
Mm-hmm.
or his family owned it was 3 stores.
3 stores.
Yep.
At its peak.
At its peak, and during its peak, it had the Macy's name on it,
Mm-hmm.
and that went away, and it became Highland Park Furniture. Correct me if I'm fucking up.
Yep, that's right. You're right.
And went down to 2 stores and 1 store, and ended up shutting its doors. So talk to us about that, because you are a very intelligent person,
Mhm.
and you very clearly have your arms wrapped around the marketing side, especially in the digital world. And I know that's what you were responsible for there, but you did other things. And so talk to us about how and why you guys failed. And do you call it a failure? You didn't sell it, you GOB'd it. So
Yeah. So where we wildly underestimated the value of the Macy's name. So, when we had the license with Macy's for 9 years, and I think we were in business for 13 years. And once the licensing agreement ended with Macy's, our stores were not in A+ locations. So our deal was, we were a clearance center. We would go in and offer below market, significantly below market rent. And the deal was, if you find a real tenant willing to pay regular rent, we'll move out in 90 days. So we got these locations that weren't the best locations, but people would come because it was Macy's. And once the Macy's name was not on the building, even though we had the same salespeople, and this is kind of why I'm sensitive to these retailers that are doing the same thing that they did 20 years ago. We had overnight the same buildings, the same staff, the same merchandise, the same prices. Everything about the business was exactly the same. And overnight, because the name changed, the entire business changed. So instead of people driving a half an hour to come to the Macy's clearance center, the Highland Park Clearance Center was only getting people from the neighborhood it was in. And these are 50,000 square foot stores. And there's not enough business in the neighborhood to draw those people in. And also, despite being in the exact same location with the exact same everything, it didn't translate to the customer that it's still worth driving to this. Like, you need time. If you're brand new, it wasn't like we were just a name change. It was like being an entirely brand new company. And so if you were starting out as Highland Park Furniture, you would start significantly smaller, and you wouldn't have, 3 trucks and 5 warehouse people and 20 or 30 salespeople and managers. And like, you wouldn't have all of that stuff. And that's what it was like. So changing the name totally changed the business.
Okay.
Almost overnight.
Let me add to this. So that being the case, you guys were in business 4 years post dropping Macy's.
Yeah.
Or Macy's dropping you.
Right.
However that went down.
Right.
So it was obviously a slow bleed. You were dying and didn't know.
No, not necessarily.
No.
So we were still making money. But then all of the buildings were leased. So we had different environments in different buildings. So there was one building that was 100,000 square feet that had all of our warehousing in it. And the owners of that building left us alone for years, like 6 or 7 years we were in that building, and nobody ever came by. And all of a sudden, they started coming around, and they were walking through the building, and they were looking at stuff. And so we're vulnerable because we have this 90-day out thing. And so for that was the first building that we closed. And for that one, the deal was we could get stuck. So in the Tampa market, like, April was a terrible time of year for business, and the summer wasn't great. So we did really good in like Labor Day to Black Friday. We did really good in tax time, so President's Day up until Easter. But we started getting afraid, like, something's up. They're walking around this building. It's, they're going to sell it. They're going to do something with it. They're going to lease it to somebody else. And so we didn't want to get stuck having a store closing sale at the wrong time of year. So we said, we'll take our out and close this store at the right time of year, and then, and we made a lot of money during that. We ran that one ourselves. Then now we've got 2 stores left. We're still a little bit vulnerable. We're not doing as well as we had done in the past. And leases are about to expire, or they're at different expiration dates on these 2 things. The other thing that happened was my dad turned 70, and he said, why am I still worried about this place? He didn't need to. He came in 6 days a week, and he worked a couple of hours each of those days. And he probably didn't need to. He probably could have done it from home. He probably could have, spent 1 day a week doing everything that he did. But it wasn't in his nature to do that. So he turned 70. He's like, all the other 70-year-old dudes are like fishing and golfing. And like, why am I still worrying about payroll and writing?
Yeah, why do I have a boat?
Yeah, right.
I have a boat.
Right.
Dad does have a boat.
So he he's like, I think we should just let the leases expire and ride them to the end. And he said, if you want it, I want to sell the inventory. So we owned all of the inventory, which was a couple $1,000,000. And he said, I want to sell it. I can sell it to a GOB company. They'll give me dollar for dollar the cost of the inventory, and I can just walk away. And he said, if you want to keep this going, I'll sell it to you, and I'll sell it to you at a discount, and I'll hold the paper. And, like he made it attractive, but I didn't want to keep doing it. I would have been in 20 years at that point and worked 6 days a week for probably 13 of those 20 years. And that future for me would have been working 6 days a week again, maybe more. And I would have had to put all of the money that I had as a down payment just to get the loan to cover the rest of it. And I was like, I don't want to do it. It's too dicey. We're in a market with
everybody.
10 of the top 12, not just the top 100, the top 12 in the country. We had 10 of them in.
So he's in Florida. Florida's crazy saturated with the top 100 furniture retailers.
Yeah.
So
and it's gotten worse. Like City was not in Tampa at that time. And now
Hudson's is blown up. Everybody's just
yeah.
So back to number 2 follow-up question. Was it a hard no from the start? You're 4 years post Macy's departure. Did you ever think or consider what your pivot would have been to make the business thrive after your dad's exit? Or was it just a hard no to start?
Yeah. And so it was very close to a hard no. We had a lot of family members working at the business. Mm-hmm. And we just didn't need all of the people that we had.
Yeah.
And so it would have involved taking a step. By that time, it was probably 30 people down to 10, and as part of that, some of that would have had to been family members. It's just the nature of, who does what in a company like that. And, some of the skills don't transfer and you just don't need them. And so there was also some of that, like you don't want to have to immediately start with, laying off family members.
Right.
So, and then, all of my buddies, you could kind of see like furniture was, it was a hard business. The stores were too big at that time. So there should have been a future where there was a scaled down version of that store. But then that also gets a little harder because then you can't buy as well if you don't have the space. So there's a lot of things involved in that. And then I talked to my buddies. I talked to Gabe, and, people said, you would be a great rep. You could do something else. And so I thought about that really hard, and I came to market unemployed with the idea of, should I be a rep in the industry? And, I didn't have all of the connections with retailers. So I wouldn't have been able to get a great line that already had a lot of, I had the experience, I had the retailer's point of view, but I didn't have all of the relationships. So if
disagree completely,
get a line.
We all said he should be a rep.
Yeah. And I mean, deal's still on the table, Joe. Sorry, Terry. No, I'm not.
Tennessee doesn't have all the majors like Florida. No, I mean, Joe would have made an unbelievable rep. And you did have those contacts. You just maybe, because you could have got the lines because people that you bought from knew you, loved you, knew how personable you are, and you did have contacts in other retailers because you were so social
Yeah.
at markets because you're an alcoholic. But
He's not an alcoholic. Alcoholics need alcohol. Joe just wants it really, really bad.
yeah, plus they go to like stupid meetings and stuff. Who wants to do that?
Who got time for meetings?
Yeah. But the other thing was, and if my memory serves me correctly, Joe spent a lot of his time really perfecting the Google side of those stores. And so he did a lot of experimenting and testing until he found just the right formula to make it work. And so he had this unbelievable knowledge of how to make Google work for you as a retailer. And in our industry, the people that sell that service sell lots of industries, not just furniture. And so, you know, when he was just starting out, he had a company called Google
Searchworks.
And so he had contacts and got clients, and I would say, hey, this guy was really good at this, just try him out. And I remember PFP was one of the very first, kind of very early on that, and I was running a sale. They hired my marketing firm to do one of their GOBs here in Houston. And I connected him with Tom, and I was like, hey, I've talked to Joe because he does his thing and blah, blah, blah. And he's really fucking good at it. He's really fucking smart. And then you ended up talking to Tom and did an event, and then it was super successful. And now you guys have worked together for a long, long, long time now.
Yeah. Well, and there's another interesting part of that is, so as I'm at market and I'm saying, you know, should I become a rep? And then I could also do this Google thing. And the rep feedback was about 50-50. So guys were encouraging, and then some guys were like, you know, you could do it, but there might be a long ramp up. And I was freshly divorced at the time also. So I had a big payment that was due every month. So that was also part of this thing. Like I couldn't afford to be risky because I owed a lot.
You know why divorces are so expensive though?
Whoops.
Because they're fucking worth it.
1000%. Put right here, Alex. Put right here.
So I started this company doing Google campaign. Like I went to the furniture market, and guys were like 50-50 on the rep thing. But then everybody I talked to about the Google thing said, yeah, that was 100%. You know, people were like, furniture stores need it. You know how to do it. You know, I think that would work. You know, if you can do what you say you can do, you know, everybody kind of agreed with that. So that's where I started down the path. And then a guy who had a furniture store north of us in another city in Florida, like an hour or two north of us. He wasn't a competitor because he was just a little too far away, but he was aware of us. And he had been following for years. I didn't know the guy at all. But he had been watching everything that we did. And when we closed, he contacted me on Facebook, and he said, would you be willing, he's like, I've been watching everything you do. Would you be willing to come up here and consult with me on my business? And I was like, yeah, all right. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know.
Joe
Eden, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I was like, I don't know what to charge. I don't know what I'm going to say. And so I went up to his store. It was like, I'll come up there and hang out. And then, you know, if I don't have anything worth paying for, then you won't pay me. We'll just hang out and, you know, a couple furniture guys. But it was incredibly easy to see all of the things that he wasn't seeing, because you come into the store and you stick your key in the lock and you look down at the lock and you open the door and you don't look up at all the cobwebs above the door. You know, so it's like there's some really simple stuff when you're an outsider looking at the business that's like, holy cow, why are you doing that? And I didn't have a special skill. I was just, you know, a different set of eyes on this thing, and everybody in there, like the salespeople, don't care enough, and he's so focused on, you weave right through and you go straight to your office and you sit down and start working, and you just don't pay attention to, like, well, why are the deliveries done that way? And
yeah. And it's interesting you bring that up, because when the speaker was talking today, I actually have notes to talk to you, Craig. And Joe, you were saying, hey, Craig, you're still relatively new in the industry. What do you see? And Craig, you've been here for 8 months, give or take, and you're already in. And I've noticed that, and it's a bit of, you're so focused on the things you're doing, and this isn't a performance review, but like
it sounds like
that I want, stepping back, because like stepping back from the working in the business, because I mean you do a great job with it, but stepping back, and I'm 20 years in, so I'm blind as
Yeah,
fuck,
right. Well, and I think yes and no, agree and disagree. Like I do get very zoned in, especially with the bandwidth and with the time, but everything new that I'm touching, right? Like building containers, like I'm figuring a way as I'm in that to make that better at the same time. So it's not like a broad brushstroke of like, hey, here's all the different things I see. It's once I'm picking up something new, I'm saying, okay, there's a better way to do XYZ here, and I'm implementing and doing all at the same time. So I think that broadens still, but yeah, I think I bounce back and forth between like tunnel vision, because I have this process and this layout and this reporting kind of okay where I want it. It can be better, and then there's also the like, no, I'm going to kind of revamp this a little bit and make it better as I'm in the middle of it. So, yeah, a little bit of both, but
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. Yeah.
Well, and so then to wrap up this little story,
we're not done interviewing you, Joe.
So I'm consulting for this guy, Joe Eden. And I was like, dude, you need Google. So he hired me to do his Google campaign. And then through that process, he told me from the very beginning, he's like, my goal is to be out of this in a year. And so I knew that he was trying to wind it down. And so then I referred him to PFP. He was already interviewing somebody else to do it. And I said, you got to talk to PFP also. And then you would talk to PFP about me. So I was managing the campaign for him. You had influenced Tom, and so they said, all right, we'll let you continue managing this campaign through his event. So he signed up with them. And that was the first time I ever officially worked for PFP.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that's then have done it ever since.
Y'all ended up, when Highland Park did the GOB, y'all went with PFP's X.
Which is also kind of an interesting story. And it's a lesson about how people do a lot of things sometimes. And so when we closed that first store, so I told you the landlords had been walking around and we didn't really need to close it, but we were getting nervous. We had PFP come talk to us. And at that time, my dad wanted to sell the inventory. He didn't want to run an event and be partners on it and all that stuff. He just wanted to sell the inventory to them. And that time in their, or in that period of they weren't buying inventory. They might have done it before then. They definitely have done it since. But in that period, they weren't buying inventory. So we decided to just do it ourselves. One of the guys that worked for us had previously worked for a GOB company. So he knew how to run GOB sales. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to just sell them the inventory, but they weren't doing that. So, and he talked to Rob and Roy. My dad knows Roy his entire life. They've done business in Florida forever. Yeah. So we talked to them and they didn't buy them. And she's like, all right, no problem. We didn't talk to anybody else. We just talked to them. When it was time to close the second store, he wanted to sell the inventory. Again, you know, same thing. He wanted to just sell the inventory. And he didn't even consider PFP. There was another company. I don't know how they got in, you know, like how he got connected to this other company. Another friend of his or somebody. And it was Bert. Yeah. And Jamie Guyan, who's now with PFP and who was originally with PFP, but went to work with Bert when Bert left PFP. And so I was like, Dad, you have to at least talk to them. These are my friends. Like I was friends with Angela, and Angela worked at PFP, and I was, you know, periphery friends with Rob, and like I kind of knew a lot of the people there. It's like, you have to at least talk to them. And he's like, nope, they didn't buy inventory back then, and these guys said they're going to buy it, so I'm fine with that. So he wouldn't even consider it, even though I was saying, like, I have to stay in this industry. These are all of my, you know, the people that I'm around a lot. I don't know Bert. You know, Jamie turns out is a fantastic guy, like a really great person. And now he is with PFP. And he's kind of the reason that we put this deal together. But, you know, so that...
Shame on you, Dad.
You're embarrassing me in front of my friend.
Shame.
Gosh.
But because they didn't do it at one point, he wouldn't even consider it the next time. And so, you know, that's how it went.
Interesting. All these years, I didn't know all this. So this is cool.
What other questions do we have for Joe?
What's that?
So what other questions do we have for Joe?
What happened to your eye?
I was born that way. Born that way.
What's the...
He fell down the stairs.
No, I was born that way. And when I was little, my parents had it fixed, and then it went back. And then when I was in high school, a girl, I was like a sophomore or a junior, and a girl who I wasn't particularly interested in, but she said to me, I can't imagine making out with a guy that has eyes like that. For no reason. We weren't flirting. I don't know if she was just being mean or funny or whatever she thought it was, but she's like, I can't. And I went home and I was like, I want to have the surgery again. And I did it again. And then it just goes back. And now it's a signature. You know, you learn to embrace it, and you know, I would never undo it today.
I'm learning so much about my best friend.
Did you? So there was a guy, back to Kill Tony. There was a guy that walked on the stage, Kill Tony, completely blind. A hilarious bit, because he walked out and he's like, God, I hope this is real.
I saw that. That was so good.
But if you hear about how he went blind, so he already had some genetic condition where he was losing vision in one of his eyes. And then he's like, this other one's rocking. Like, we're good to go. And like 3 days before his high school graduation, his friend threw something at him and hit him in his good eye, completely blind now.
Oh, that's awful.
But like the way he embraces it is absolutely perfect. He was hilarious. He killed.
God.
Killed on Kill Tony.
Killed on Kill. Kill or be
the
killed.
Speaker at Vistage today was blind.
Oh my gosh.
And of course he climbed a mountain, because that's what you do when you're missing appendages or can't see. You know,
well, he just didn't know. He didn't know where
he didn't even know it was a mountain. He was just walking.
Which mountain was it, and are we sure?
Great speaker. I wish you were going to be there tomorrow to watch him.
So, Craig, are you no longer a Vistage member? I mean, this is where this all connected.
No, I mean, one day, right? You know, what I'm doing right now, it's not necessary. Me, Gabe, and Jonathan all share notes and, you know, talk about what they heard and learned. And sometimes I'll go sit in on the speakers.
You too. Hang on. Redo your answer. You cut out.
Oh, man.
Well, you're not a Vistage member.
Yes, Joe, that is correct. So, no, not right now. Do you want me to redo the answer again?
The heck was that? You got a doorbell?
We had to leave the front door unlocked because John Glenn's in town, our director of brand expansion.
Wow.
Sarah was taking him to the golf course where they
Classy
eat and
has a
drink. And
secret.
Yeah, they went to go golf. Classy has a secret. Hi, John Glenn. Hey, buddy. It's okay. We're just making Alex do more work with editing things out.
Astronaut?
Hey, this doesn't get edited. This is straight full.
Oh, this is
full
perfect.
format.
Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does this post?
Probably a week from now. Usually
After
about a week.
September 1st or before?
It depends on Alex. I mean,
Yeah. No, we're not.
Okay, bye.
Alex,
All right. So to answer your question, Joseph, do you mind if I call you Joseph? Perfect.
it's fine. That's Bree calls me that.
Okay, great. Oh, that's
I mean,
perfect.
It's not my name, but she calls me that.
All right.
It's the other guy's name.
Her ex-boyfriend's name, but I was like, I'm not gonna
Thanks, Joseph.
make waves.
So yeah, not anymore. Eventually, one day, maybe. But what I'm doing right now, it's not as applicable. I need to focus on driving revenue and doing the things I need to do to scale the business. So me, Gabe, and Jonathan work so well together on comparing notes, what they've learned. Sometimes I'll go sit down on the speakers like Gabe wanted me to do tomorrow, but I'm going to sell things tomorrow. So going to hit the road with a rep. But yeah, so I mean, it's still, a tight network. I know a lot of the guys in the group still, having lunch with our mutual mentor here in a couple of weeks. So still a tight knit group, not in it officially, but
And
yeah.
How did you get in it to begin with?
So whenever I started at the company I was with previously, hired on as general manager, our CEO at the time was in it. And that was like one of the things he wanted me to do was become a Vistage member. And it was huge help for me then because at the time I had never managed a P&L before. I was kind of swimming a little bit or trying to swim. So that's how I got in it initially. Met with one chair. It was Ken, our mentor, and he and I hit it off, had great conversations. And he did a really, really good job of challenging me. I'll never forget, he told me, because I had gotten the job that I wanted, right? And he said, fake it till you make it, but at some point you better start making it. And I was like, oh, that's got to be quick. And I think that goes back to, Gabe saying I'm a fast learner. Ken said that, and it triggered something where I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to fake it till I make it for long. I'm going to learn quick. I'm going to engulf myself in everything I can. So it was really, really valuable for me. Not only the lessons learned in business, being able to take them back and apply them to the business I was in, but obviously the connections, the networking, and it's just a really unique group of people who are very open, very humble, and want to learn from each other. So
Tell us about the mustache.
why is this all tied back? Okay, here we go. So I had a full beard. I was rocking a full beard for a real long time.
And I get a picture of you when you call an iPhone.
It's my wife and I 2 days before we got engaged. Yep.
And it's a different, you look like two different people.
Thank you. Yeah. So I've never really had the same facial hair for very long in my life, just because I like to change it up. But I was rocking a really, really strong beard for a while. And then my name got thrown in the pot for the CEO gig. And it was a very, when you think of like very traditional bankers, that's what this group was. Great guys, right? But just very traditional, very old school. They're not going to want a full beard. It wasn't going to bode well. I was going to be judged on that. But
so you thought a mustache was better.
Wait, hang on, time.
We're on the same wavelength here.
Yeah. When I shaved completely, I looked entirely too young for the job, which I was already too young for. Oh. And so it was like, how do I strike the balance of appealing to the social norms of this group I'm interviewing with versus not looking 12? And so I hit the mustache. It worked. I got the job. And I've tinkered with it going away or bringing something back. And for the past few years, I've just gone back to it and I've stuck with it. And now it's on business cards and my email signature. And so now it's hard to change. I can't.
Well,
There's freaking cost now
I
to
think
my facial hair.
I asked you about it probably the first time we met. And
What did I say then? Was it the same answer?
you said your wife liked it.
She does.
So I didn't get all the backstory, but you
Yeah.
said your wife liked it. And I was like, all right, well, that's enough. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine.
That's the biggest reason it hasn't gone away is she likes it. So, yeah, she says it's a balance because she likes my face because it's cute. But the facial hair is nice. So,
Yeah. I mean, when I see a mustache, my gut reaction is always fireman.
Police officer.
I think firemen because
I think police officer.
they have to have the thing on their face. And if you have a beard, your mask doesn't.
so authority figure. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yes, Daddy.
If you're a fireman, you have to wear that face mask.
Yeah,
the
and that
face
was
mask won't stick and block out all the smoke if you have a beard. So the only facial hair firemen can have is mustaches.
the first company that I worked
Logical.
for. It's funny you bring that up. The first company I worked for, the company that bought us out. I'm like 18, fresh out of high school, working with them, and like finally I was a late bloomer, so I was finally starting to grow facial hair, and so I had some stuff. And mind you, I'm working in an office, right? But they had a policy of no facial hair in the office other than a mustache or clean shaven. That was it. You couldn't have beards at the time. Like I was playing for the New York Yankees or something. And I started to grow out this stubble, and my supervisor at the time called me into his office and he said, Craig, now what would happen if you were to have to don a respirator? And I said, well, first off, Darren, I haven't been fit tested, which is the requirement for donning a respirator. So it wouldn't work anyways. Why do you ask? And then he wrote me up for having facial hair because I had an attitude.
Both were true.
Both were true. Yeah.
Well, and I'm just so jealous, and I, have said it many times before. I would love to have a beard, and it's just never going to happen for me. So
that is the one bit we could have pulled that we didn't think about, is if you grew out a mustache in time for this podcast.
It doesn't happen. It's not possible. It is I don't know if I'm part Indian.
Can you just let it go for a little bit?
I have pictures. I've done the Movember thing.
I want to see.
And I've got pictures.
Sure,
of that.
screen share. I know how well that works on this podcast. Screen share.
Yeah, I'll just send them. I'll send them to you privately, and I'll include Alex so that he can insert them into this portion of the show. If
yeah, hole in your lip.
Yeah,
you got him with some dribble.
That's what happens when you put water in the glass. That was the first.
How do you do that?
Gross.
Thirsty.
Quitter.
Y'all drinking that bullshit. I'm over here drinking.
I'm on dry August, bitch. So
Were you in dry August drinking champagne?
Yeah.
That was so aggressive. God.
It was aggressive. We're getting deep in this now.
So we did dry August because July was tough. I was in Vegas for 10 days and drinking every single day. And so then Bree was traveling 2 weekends in August. So I was like, this is going to be easy. Like you'll be gone 2 weekends. I'm not going to drink by myself. So those 2 weekends are easy. And then all I got to do is make it the other 2 times. But then I had to go to Nationwide. And so I drank there. So that interfered, so 2 days, those 2 nights. And then now tonight. So I'm dry August minus 3 days. And also the first weekend of August, I had a couple beers. So
hey, Joe, but I want you to know something. I'm still proud of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Still proud of you.
Thank you. I don't have a problem. I can stop when
Clearly, you proved it.
I just don't want to.
You can quit anytime you want. You just don't want it.
Sins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. A little tippy, a little tipsy. This
Shit, let me
podcast,
make me another one.
this podcast gets more interesting the later it gets. It's just
It
hard for
does,
people to
and
hang
I
around
haven't
that
started
long.
slurring yet.
What's next? What's on the agenda? What's on the docket? Do we have? I didn't get a copy of the show notes.
No, it's all from the heart. Like, you know,
Just wing it.
like
See,
your
that's
leadership
what I said
style.
earlier. Lead with the heart.
Yeah.
Always
So
works out.
I heard an interesting thing today. So it was about venture capital, which I had not considered this before, and it's leading somewhere because I want to ask about crypto for you guys, but this AI sort of led to this venture capital thing, which I had not considered, and it was that the venture capital world could become very difficult for these rich guys that have a lot of money that they need to invest. And the example that he used is you know, last year or 3 or 4 years ago, you came up with a great idea for an app or a software or something, and you needed 250,000, you needed $1 million, you know, to hire the people to build the thing. And the AI is allowing that person who needed that to now, without any coding experience, you can build a version of this and start selling it within a month by yourself or with another person using AI, using vibe coding, you know, things like that. And they said, maybe we're not exactly there yet, but it's progressing so quickly that in 6 months we'll be there, where now all of these startup companies, like an Uber today, you might not need a lot of funding to start something up or to build a base camp app or you know, or project management software or something like that. And so it's going to create a vacuum in that venture capital world because there won't be companies to invest in because those founders won't need it. So
Well,
I just
I
thought,
mean, there's so many companies that aren't that don't fit into that realm, and there are also so many other things to invest in. You know, I mean, there's always people looking for money.
yeah, but there's like all of these app-based companies that have been the darlings of the VC world over the last 10 years, a lot of that could go away. So it was just speculation, you know, about what the future is. So I have tons of opinions about AI and the damage that it could cause beyond us being killed by robots. But your thoughts, and then also
the toaster laughed. I shot the toaster.
Well, so I'll put this out there for your thoughts also. A lot of the large language models are being trained off of data that's on the internet. And what is your incentive as a creator, as a writer, to
That's what I was doing that number for.
the doorbell?
But she took her time. Yeah, she took her time walking out.
But what is your incentive to create, to write, to post content anymore if it's just going to get used by the AI engines and nobody's ever going to visit your website where you sell ads, which is what is, you know, that's how you generate income from creating all of this content. So why would you post your recipe online for it to, you know, you used to do it because you could sell ads against your recipe and you can make money. But if that doesn't happen, if ChatGPT just learns all of the recipes and there's no reason for people to go to those websites anymore, what's the incentive for anybody to create the content anymore? And so it feels like we could hit a place where we
let's
just
reframe this a bit,
stall.
because nobody goes to websites anyways anymore.
They did.
So it's already, they don't go to websites, not for fucking recipes or questions. They're going to TikTok or Instagram or whatever. So let's just fix that a bit.
Okay, but so even that, so that's in the last couple of years. But all of these, you know, and they might have gone to Pinterest, but Pinterest ultimately leads you to the website to get the full details of the thing. So what is the incentive for people to continue? Even if you're WebMD, you know, the incentive for WebMD was you could sell ads against all of this great medical information.
And I would say that it's, and this is something I actually meant to mention to you, is like the new SEO isn't SEO, it's like AIEO. See what I did there?
I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not
go
I'm not gonna sing it.
Please. So
it's so hard.
But that's what it is, right? So like, what are you doing, Mr. Searchworks, to shift to being presented with ChatGPT and the sorts?
Yeah. So there's two things. One, I am hoping that this is part of the strategy. I'm hoping that it doesn't take over before my retirement.
and then I'm praying.
So
you can hope in one hand and crap in the other, see which one fills up first.
So the other thing is, ads are such a tremendous cash cow for Google, who is one of the biggest companies out there.
That's how you got that skateboard behind you.
Not an accident. So the idea of ads going away entirely. So even if ChatGPT becomes the dominant search engine, so if you no longer search for stuff on Google, you go to ChatGPT or whatever your
Google version,
thing, Claude
whatever.
or your thing.
Correct.
So somebody is going to have to sell ads, presumably, hopefully, maybe. So I might have to learn how to place ads on their platform. If paying for placement in search results goes away entirely, then all of those independents are totally fucked. All of my clients would go away anyways, because the only way to get those positions is to have content out there. These are guys who have Memorial Day on their website. They're not going to have the content.
They're not going to put content.
Too late to the game. And a lot of that content is coming from places like Reddit. So now you have to have a Reddit strategy that gets you mentioned a lot on Reddit, so that you become part of the search results. Like, what's the best furniture store in Houston? If you're not on Reddit, you're not likely to make it into the ChatGPT summary of those results.
So I feel like this is just yet another example of the evolution of the internet and people and innovation, right? So back up 30 years, 20 years, people weren't talking much about the internet at all, right? And then Google found a way to monetize the internet. And now we're finding a way to demonetize the internet. People are going to monetize it again, right? And the person that figures out the best way to monetize that is going to win. And it may be a new Google, right? It may be a new tech monster that does that, but it's how do you get discovered on ChatGPT or other AI models? And maybe it still is content, and maybe it's utilizing ChatGPT to build your content, right? Maybe you build something where every week it's posting a blog post, and you're not really having to do anything other than copy paste the blog post, right? Like Joe sends me every week, and I don't do anything with them, kind of like that.
And then there's a whole nother weird thing going on where then the internet becomes populated with blog posts that are AI generated, and the whole thing becomes garbage, and everybody stops going to it altogether because it's just a regurgitation of the same crap over
But
and over.
also,
And
if you're
there's a
worried about
difference.
being killed by the robots, don't call it garbage.
Yeah, careful. You're getting on their target list.
I love you, Grok.
I mail Skittles to Grok's mailing address once a week so that when it starts killing all the humans, it comes by me and just says, thanks for the candy.
Smart.
There's
Thanks.
this other concept, which is as so much of the internet becomes populated with bot stuff or auto-generated stuff, there becomes a business where you validate that this is a human creating this. So that becomes a new business model that doesn't exist today. We don't have any reason to validate that this is coming from a human. So, how do you, and I don't know who does that, but some way of validating that this is in fact Craig's original material, not some ChatGPT generated version of a Craig material, and it's his, and so perhaps you pay for access to that like real information.
He's back. Hi. Hey. But I think it's also it's picking up on a trend that's already been starting for years, and it's a trend that I love, of a younger generation that's going back to brick and mortar because they want the experience. Right? Like our daughter is 14, she'll be 15 this month. And she doesn't want to buy things online. She wants to go to the mall. And that's a leap from where we were several years ago, where everybody wanted to buy on the internet. And I'm not saying that the internet shopping is going away, but brick and mortar is coming back a little bit, especially with the younger generation, because they want the shopping experience. They don't just want to be scrolling on the internet to find something cool.
That's absolutely what's going to happen. Your kids are going to be like, oh my God, my dad buys stuff online.
Yeah.
That is like, ugh.
Pendulum always swings.
Yeah. And like, I can't believe that he buys stuff online, and he's constantly complaining about it, and he could just go to a store. He's so, and
you have to go to the store and return it. They're like, why didn't you just go to the store to begin with?
Yeah. If you had the money and the printing presses to start creating a newspaper, I think there could be a fortune to be made in printing newspapers and selling advertising. Like, you need a couple of great writers, which they're all going to be unemployed because they're not writing for online blogs anymore, right? Like, why would you post a blog for
I can't believe we put this on the internet. All right. We're looking for investors. We're going to start a printing press. And
yeah, apparently the investors don't have anywhere to spend their money anymore, so we'll take it. Thank you.
Newspapers.
I mean,
we can do the whole paperboy thing.
Newspapers.
Well, you got to figure out delivery, because
executive C-suite dating app.
You can't have newspapers how do you deliver it on a massive scale nationwide? That's tricky.
Maybe bicycles. I don't know.
Bicycles.
Just throwing it out there. It sounds like it could be a good idea. It could work.
Throwing it out there.
Email's terrible. Email's not it.
No, emails will die.
Dinosaurs will be reborn.
It's going to be printed, and your little friggin' grandkids are going to be sitting on the porch with a pipe and the newspaper.
I feel like at this point, Joe kind of feels like electricity is still a fad.
Yeah, so I'm not overly worried about it.
No one uses central AC anymore.
So what do you guys think about crypto?
I'm out. I'll sit here and drink wine. I literally know nothing about it. I have a hard time investing in anything that I don't understand how my money's returned and how it's valued. Gabe can probably speak better. if we want to phone a friend, I think we should get Jonathan on.
Well, Jonathan is the wizard for sure. Maybe we should have an entire crypto episode with Jonathan.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because it just keeps popping up and I don't know what to do. And I'm also very afraid. And the amount that I have in it is a token amount. And then I think of Jonathan and I'm like, that dude's probably a freaking gazillionaire now because he was doing it 7 years ago. And it just.
And right now you don't want to do it because Bitcoin's at 118 and you should have done it a long time ago. So you don't want to get in now, but you don't realize it's just going to keep with the same trajectory. And so. It's like I tell people about real estate because a lot of people are like, well, it's a seller's market right now. I don't buy now, or interest rates are too high, so I'm not going to buy right now. And the reality is the best time to buy was yesterday. Yep. The second best time is right now because tomorrow is going to be worse. And it's very similar in the crypto world, you know.
But how do you know which one? Like I have one that's gone down 79%. And it just stayed down. Like it's not tracking up like the rest of these do.
Yeah, I mean, but that's where I get into like that's where I say let's talk to Jonathan because I don't know. I bought a bunch of like altcoins. I mean, not a bunch, but you know, you've kind of gotten your majors, right? Like, you know, the safe bets Bitcoin, right? And all the rest of them follow the trajectory of Bitcoin. So why not just get Bitcoin? I mean, everybody's so stuck on this. I want a 10x and 100x and this and that. And those are gambles. Those are like going to Vegas and throwing $1,000 on red, or not even on red. It's like putting $1,000 on a number
on 12.
Yeah. So that's a different thing, you know. But for long term, buying a Bitcoin, and for some reason, a lot of people don't know that you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. So,
well, and I don't understand it, and I feel like a fool, like I'm getting left behind. But I don't know anybody who's out there spending Bitcoin. I don't know, like.
Forget about it as a currency. Forget about it as a currency. And
I don't know anybody who's using it any other way either.
Yes, you do. You know, everybody you know uses it or that does anything with it as a store of value.
Well, right. So like gold. Like
So you think
but
like
gold's
like
fucked.
A treasury note, like
gold's not okay. A gold bar. Do you know anybody with a gold bar or gold coins or anything like that?
You know, I got some gold chains.
You got two of them? You got two chains?
Oh, Joe, 2 chains.
Heck yeah.
Chains.
I got a gold high school ring.
Gold is a store of value, but currency is a problem. And unfortunately, my wallet is empty. I was going to pull out a dollar bill, which is truly of no value. The only value it's intended to hold is a debt that the government owes you. So this $5 bill says the government owes me $5 for this, right? This is a note, okay? But at one time when we were on the gold standard, all of that currency was backed by gold bullion, right? That has gone away. So it's very shaky and the government can print money at their will. And so the value of that note can be inflated or deflated. As you know, we've seen record inflation in this country the last couple of years. And because we're off the gold standard, which at the time there's a limited amount of gold on the planet Earth. So that's all there will ever be. Since that's gone away, that doesn't have the same store of value. It's not finite. Whereas Bitcoin, there will, and I'm going to fuck this up, but I think there's like 21 million coins, and that's all there will ever be. Now it's being mined all the time, but as we go, it gets more and more difficult to mine. So a miner is like a PC that is hosting transactions all day, and it repays you in whatever coin it is that you're mining. And so what I mean that it's going to be more difficult to mine is that the same processing that, let's say it ran 6 months before, and then you have the halving. The halving is an event that happens, and I don't know how often, or every 4 years. So every 4 years you have what's called
Who's
a
under there?
halving.
Who'd you get that answer from?
Alex.
He's under the table.
Yeah.
You looked under the table, Alex.
If you saw this setup, so the halving means that it is about to basically be the production of Bitcoin, the mining of Bitcoin is going to drop in half. So the production of this PC that's running is now going to produce half the amount of Bitcoin that it could before. And so the decimals and decimals of what is being created every year is reducing, and it, decimals are infinite, so it can get to almost nothing. But ultimately, there will only be 21 million Bitcoin ever. And so there's a very finite amount, and it is a perfect and flawless store of value because of that. Oh, he's so
Is it?
Created by a
so
mysterious dude.
Yeah. I want to try to conceptualize this because I legitimately have no clue.
Okay.
Are we not just taking energy and converting it to something intangible, essentially intangible? And as we scale and grow as a planet, we can create more energy processing ability and therefore create and mine more Bitcoin?
No.
Okay. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's a no.
And I proved that just then.
Okay, so
it's like crap.
A more
It's
robust
hard to
answer
figure
is
out.
yes, we can create more energy that goes into mining Bitcoin, but all of those efforts get cut in half every 4 years. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin. That's the cap. So it doesn't matter how much you're processing, how many people are farming, doesn't matter. None of that matters. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin.
Can I have one?
You can buy one. I'll sell you one.
No, that's a half.
You can have one of his NFTs.
Can we have a comedic break?
I'll still say that.
To divert from mine and Joe's absolute confusion.
Okay.
I left you an Easter egg earlier, and you called it out, but you didn't know it was happening. There's a Santa Claus behind me.
Oh, I seen it.
I had the Christmas theme going, presented. That came from something fun Gabe did this week with the team where we brought something funny, and Santa Claus came out on the counter. And then John Glenn may or may not have been in on this. And so he was like, this is perfect. We're going to put this right here as he was helping me clean the bar up.
And so, but that's fascinating because this was obviously planned way before John Glenn came
Vegas.
to town.
Planet
And
Vegas,
we did a, it's like the random object challenge. You fill your mouth with water and like you bring random objects. And so John, we didn't make this plan until after John was already in Houston. Well, he didn't bring anything. So I'm like, let's go around the factory. Let's go find some shit. And I'm like, look at this fucking thing. Dude, use this. And so there you have
Santa Claus.
Perfect. Yeah, it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Well done, fellas, on the execution of the
stuff. Thank you.
So I was a part of it. See?
You were a part of it.
See?
Yeah.
Yep. You helped tease the joke you didn't know about.
Yay.
Yay. Yay.
Well, on that note, my glorious Prosecco, which is probably one of the perfect drinks, is gone.
You trying to leave us right now? Do you
Weird
need
that a person could,
get
you're gonna, if you come up with topics, I can talk.
another bottle?
Let's go.
It's been a dry August.
You pour bourbon like a big boy. You big boy.
Big boy.
All of
You
that.
big boy now.
Sorry,
You got
we
big
yelled
boy
at you.
pants.
Hey, you didn't deserve us to yell at you like that. I'm sorry.
All of that shit's in a different room. So this is it. I mean, I could go get it if we're going to keep going, but Gabe is like, hey, come out. This is the best night ever. Come out at 10 o'clock. And then he's like, oh, I went to bed at 10:30.
Listen,
when you're like, I'm sorry I couldn't come out. He's like,
we're
"That's all
not
right. I went to
getting
bed at
into
10:30."
failed evenings because I got a laundry list that I could pull out on you. I done put you in some real good positions
Well,
over the years.
yes,
All right.
yes, but
I have
also,
gotten old. I've gotten old.
what I said is not untrue.
So this past Vegas, and you were there too. Every night by like 10, 11, we're like, I gotta go to bed, you know. And then Gianni showed up, and Gianni's my son. He turned 21. He came out. We celebrated his birthday in Vegas, and that was the first night we finally broke, 1 a.m. or whatever. Like we
It was
actually
later
stayed
than
up.
1 a.m.
It was what?
It was later.
What time was it?
I don't know. I'm still tired from it. I'm still tired. And then I don't know how I stayed up till 3 in Omaha, Nebraska, but I did.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Priscilla will help you do that.
Nah, there's a couple others that were stronger influences.
Yeah, stronger than Priscilla because
Priscilla
she will
wasn't
ruin the morning by keeping you up until that morning.
Priscilla wasn't having a push.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who kept you
It
out?
was a whole group. It was a whole group. We closed down the hotel bar, and then we went to another bar that was open till 2, and for some reason they let us stay till 3. And I think I went to bed at 3:45 and woke up at 7, and then had to tear down the booth. It was a great idea. It was a great idea. And you can let Terry know I'm still upset with him if you haven't already, because there was one day where I was like, I need mimosas and there's too much going on for me to go get them. And he said, you don't worry about it. We'll get y'all some mimosas. Ask me if they showed up.
They did not.
No, they didn't.
Oh.
No, there was no mimosas.
Oh, Alex, that has to be a clip.
There was no mimosas, Terry.
Let's put America's Most Wanted with Terry's face on it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got a new iPhone last weekend.
He's still been on the iPhone 5 because he's protesting.
No, them sons of bitches. So as soon as
okay, Alex, that has to be a clip. No,
full disclosure, I own a little bit of
Apple.
stock in Apple and AT&T, so I'm not, I'm part owner of both of these companies. I don't sit on either of the boards though, so I am not exaggerating. As soon as I made that final 36th payment on the iPhone 13, it started acting up. And I was talking to Gabe last week and the call cut out. And I was like, I am convinced. And he said, it's absolutely happening to you. They planned obsolescence in these phones. And so.
Yeah, they're being sued for a class action. It's common knowledge at this point. They don't even try to fucking hide it now.
I mean, it was infuriating. So then I went and got the new phone. And I thought, everybody says
So it worked.
It's easy now.
But do you also love the new phone?
No. No, it's
Ooh.
no fucking different. Like Apple came out with a brilliant product, and now there's like 2 extra things that it does, and maybe it takes a little bit better pictures. But in my day-to-day, it's the same phone that I have. But now I got to get I got to get new chargers for the car and the house and the backpack and the travel and
Oh, you still had the lightning charger then, didn't you?
It was a 13. I was on a 13.
I don't know what that means.
Fine. iPhone 13.
Yes, lightning.
From whatever.
So the lightning, but you know why they had to do away with the lightning chargers?
Because it was the only device in all of the land that had.
They got sued by the EU for having like a proprietary charger that didn't fit any other device. And so they were like, well, we have to change it in Europe. We'll just change it across the board. And that's why they went to the USB-C charger.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Good on them. Holding the big guys accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I also saw or heard another thing about the EU privacy, like we all have to comply with the EU privacy advertising rules now, and cookie acceptance
we all
and
know
shit
that,
like
but keep going.
And well, you do know that now all of a sudden you have every website you go to, you have to accept the cookies. And so the argument is that is a complete failure. It's not protecting anybody's privacy, and all it did is require all of us everywhere to have to accept cookie banners now. Or what, it's like such a ridiculous thing that didn't help at all and just caused everybody a whole bunch of trauma.
Yeah, what I always do when I see a cookie banner pop up is I X out of it, because that's an option, is to X out. And today I noticed, like, normally it works and I can X out and then it doesn't pop up again. But every time I went back to or refreshed that page, the same banner popped up. And it was like the biggest banner at the bottom corner of my screen that, like, I had to get out of the way every time. And so I finally just hit accept all.
Yeah. And so that did nothing. It's not protecting anybody. And
I didn't feel safe.
Causing problems for all of us. Causing an extra step for everybody.
See these hands?
Yeah, I see them.
Daddy's not going to let you fall.
Whoa. So, yeah, new phone. Who dis? I was really disappointed. I had spent 3 hours on Saturday re-entering passwords for all of every stupid app on my phone.
Fuck that.
Infuriating. For nothing. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It doesn't do anything
different.
Better.
Pictures better, I bet. You can use
but it's still trailing behind the Android camera.
Well, and how good of pictures do I need? Like, the pictures it has been taking for the last 7 years
have been fine.
Pretty good. Yeah. Jeez. Like, I'm not zooming in that much on my belly in all these pictures.
Can you also send the belly pictures to Alex?
Put some of those in.
Clip in, yeah.
I mean, that's what we do. Like, you take a picture and you zoom in on yourself to see how fat you are. And you don't look at anybody else. And you're like, I don't know. I'm not going to wear that shirt anymore.
That's a fun social experiment. I did that a few years ago with a group that I used to work out with. As we took this big group picture, and I just made like this ridiculous face with my hands up here, just to see if anyone would notice at the initial glance in the photo, and no one did, because everyone's only looking at themselves in that picture.
Oh yeah, nice. Absolutely. I went when I was freshly single, and Jeff Lane, who's a industry rep, was also a single guy at this point. I met him at a concert, and he had a group of friends with him. There was a bunch of girls there, and they said, "Can you take a picture?" And I don't know if it was him or somebody took a picture, and they're like, "Oh no, can you take another one?" And then, "Can you take another one?" And then one of the girls said, and there's like a row of girls, so it's like 7 or 8 people, pre-gaming or tailgating outside of a concert. And one girl said, "I don't like the way my knee looks in that one." And Jeff Lane looks at me and he goes, "This is what it's like now."
That's right. I still talk about that. So I bring that up because you shared that story with me. And I always talk about, I go, my knee looks weird in that. I'm like wearing jeans.
Yeah, holy cow. He's like, I don't have the bandwidth for this. So,
yeah, well, it's not getting any better. And then I ended up being single after my divorce around that time period. and ended up with this IG girl. And it's like, everywhere you go, take picture, and you take 50 fucking pictures. And it's like, yeah, my ear is showing wrong in that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't need a better camera. Like, I actually
we should intentionally get worse cameras.
Right. The older you get, the worse camera.
That's a really good.
We've come up with a lot of business ideas here today.
This has been great. Now we have to execute on them.
Oh my gosh.
We got to practice what we preach. We can't just have the ideas. We have
Worse
to execute.
camera. App.
C-suite dating app.
Yeah.
Newspaper.
That's the biggest potential.
And then we have to do monthly seminars starting in October.
Yeah, okay.
And so, like, unfortunately for Craig, he finally made it onto the podcast, but this will be the one episode that doesn't get posted because we have too many good ideas in it. Nobody will ever know you made it.
It's okay.
So it's funny because, like, yesterday, me and John Glenn were riding home or whatever, and I was talking about the podcast, and we were trying to work out logistics. And John was like, "Oh yeah, he's really excited about it." I'm like, that motherfucker. Because so when I told Craig, so let me just fill everybody in. So the first day Craig started working with us, he's like, "When do I get on the podcast?" Like, I want on the podcast.
I like podcasts.
So of course we got things scheduled, whatever. I'm like, "Oh, we'll get there, you know." And of course I love Craig and I want him, and I know he's entertaining. We'll get there. So finally, a couple weeks ago, I'm like, "Craig," and we're in the office and it's like working hours. Like, Craig, Joe and I would be honored.
Time, you're telling it wrong. First off, he goes, Gabe, I love you.
Okay.
I love you. Okay. First off, Gabe didn't call me or text me on my birthday. First off, hang on, wait, time. And then back up 2 weeks ago, and he goes, "Hey, is your birthday August 20th?" And I said, "Fucking nope." And he goes, "Oh, sorry, that's the other Craig, which isn't allowed." Like, there's only
I'm just cleaning up my calendar. I'm adding last names, bro.
There's only room for one Craig. So he said, "Is it the other Craig?" Fast forward about 10 minutes, he goes, "What are you doing on August 20th? I said, "I'm not fucking going to Craig's birthday party. I can promise you that." All right, now you go.
We were just talking about the podcast, not your insecurities about the other Craig. I'm glad you got a chance to let it out.
Great guy.
I like that Craig.
Great guy.
Yeah. Shit, I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
And you said
you told
I would be honored to.
Oh yeah, we would be honored if you join us on the podcast. And he's like, "I'll check my schedule." Or some shit like that. Like,
when do I need to let you know by?
The whole time he's just been downplaying it, and obviously I know Craig's excited about being here, and John Glenn's like, he was so excited, he's got all these plans, and I'm like,
and just for the audience sake, we're not talking about the astronaut John Glenn, right?
Is there an astronaut John Glenn?
Isn't John Glenn the one that went to the moon?
No.
Or the first one that orbited the Earth or something?
Yep, John Glenn went to the moon.
That's John Glenn?
Yeah.
It was him or
that's the guy who says they never went?
Yeah, he went to the moon.
Buzz Lightyear. Buzz
Lightyear didn't go to the moon.
He went to
that we know of in real life.
There's a Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin.
He also went to the moon with John Glenn, I think.
John Glenn's the guy.
We're way too late in this podcast to be talking about facts of NASA expeditions.
Well, let's get real. Nobody went to the moon.
Here we go.
Oh. So I also I used to play this trick on my kids when they were little. just like for funsies, that I told them I was an astronaut, and then I retired when they were born. And our middle child is still so upset about it that every once in a while he'll be like, "Dad, look at the moon." I'm like, "Yeah, I see it, bro. I've been there." And he's like, "You have not. You lied to me for half my life." It's the best.
I would
I had
have
my
another kid
brother-
just to do that.
My brother bought like this NASA hat from a thrift store that looked like old and tethered and all that.
Looks like it's been to the moon.
Looks like it's been to the moon. And so I would wear it. I'm like, this is your dad's from
Moon
back
hat.
in the day.
That's the moon
And
hat.
they both bought into it until I told them that it wasn't true. And so, trauma, it's good. It's a healthy trauma for
You
them.
grow from that.
You grow from that.
I didn't talk around my kids for the first couple of years of their life, so they thought they were deaf.
He just mouths to them.
Oh my god!
They were so grateful when I was like, "Hey, you want some bologna?" They're like,
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
so there you go.
All
All
right.
right. Well, Craig, it
What
has
else, Corey?
been an absolute pleasure having
No, he's
you
trying to
on
hang up on
here.
me again. What the?
This is happening, dude. I'm a bottle of Prosecco in, and
Yeah, it's been great having you, man. We'll do it
Hey,
again.
great hanging out, guys. Did you say we'll do it again?
I did say that. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not giving you a timeline.
next
Let's
time
go.
we'll have questions prepared. Craig, what would you be doing if it weren't for this? What did you want to do as a youngster?
Oh, what did I want to do? I really I learned a lot from my dad, which my mom was upset about when she read it in my bio. Love you, Mom. Learned a lot from you too, but I learned a lot from my dad in terms of work ethic. And so from high school, I wanted to hustle. So I didn't have a plan or what I wanted to do. I'm thrilled about what I'm doing now, which sounds great. If I could do anything else, it'd be sports stuff.
Really?
But-
You're into the sports.
I love the sport balls. Yeah, love it. Baseball, football, those are my jam.
All the balls. You love the balls.
Yeah, I always felt like I could be a good commentator in sports. That'd be cool. But it
Talking
also
about
sounds
balls.
like more of a grind that I don't want to travel that much and
What did
Do
your
all
mom and
that,
dad do for jobs?
So my mom was a
I
domestic.
like how
engineer.
Joe is signing off twice and then starts a whole new episode.
I'm an onion. I'm an
I'm
onion.
so
He's
thirsty.
peeling back layers. He's peeling back layers.
What did your parents do?
So my mom was a domestic engineer, which is a fancy term for stay-at-home mom for a very long time. And she was really good at that. She did a good job. Hard job, respectful job. And now she's a deputy fire marshal. She grinds there. Her work ethic's off the charts. And then my dad worked in chemical plants his whole life. Worked his way up. He was global director of HSE for GE and has had all these crazy, outlandish jobs in safety and HSE. And that's what he's still doing.
What
He's
is
in a chemical plant.
HSE?
Health, safety, and environmental, as I was taught at 5 years old. Love you, Pops. Thanks for that. I was a kid with knee pads, elbow pads, helmet, all the stuff.
Checks
Decked out.
And that was just walking to the fridge.
Correct. By the way, he told me to tell his adopted son hello. That was
Hi,
last
Dad.
time. Yeah, he tried
I
calling
miss
me
you,
on the
buddy.
podcast. I should have put him on. I should have answered and put him on the podcast.
Well, we had a thing. We were going to have our fathers on, and Joe's dad said no.
He did.
Our dads wouldn't, because Gabe and I share a dad now.
We
Gabe's
share
dad's
dads.
Gabe's dad is my papa.
Isaac is a gem for sure.
No, he's an Isaac. But
Well
anywho,
done, sir.
so yeah, I just I wanted to hustle. I didn't know where I ended up. I just knew I wanted big things and want to build a legacy, want to build a really good life for my family. My parents gave me a lot, but I want to be able to provide my kids with even more than they provided with me. You want the next generation to be better than the previous, and so yeah, that's kind of it.
Are they married to each other?
My parents?
Yeah.
Oh God, no. They like each other. It's great. They get along great. But no, they got divorced when I was 12. My mom is still single and loving it, and my dad is very happily married to an amazing lady who is another mom to me. She treats me like her own. It's great. So,
Has Gabe met your mom?
you have met all of my family,
Yeah.
right? You've met
Yeah.
my mom and my
she's
other
single.
mom. Yeah.
I'm not, Joe.
Not.
Easy.
Yes.
I mean, how cool would it be to be his stepdad?
I'm not going to call you dad ever.
We'll see.
No, you're missing a D and a Y. Hey, Daddy, can I get some PTO?
Zaddy.
I like the sound of that. I'm gonna have to go talk to my girlfriend. This may be the end of that.
I can call my mom right now.
Yeah, let's get her on.
She'll leave antidepressants in your cabinet if you're interested.
All right. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll call her. Oh, good
This
stuff.
is fun. This is fun.
It is fun.
Do you have any
All right, so let's go ahead and
siblings?
sign off. What other questions do you have, Joe?
Siblings?
I have so many siblings. I have 2 older siblings, 2 younger siblings. So I have an older sister, older brother. My brother's 4 years older than me. My sister's 8 years older than me. And then I have a younger sister, younger brother. My younger sister is 21, about to be 20. No, oh shit, she's 22.
Yeah, that was a yes or no question.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, you're the one that wanted to keep this going. We were signing
No, I'm
off.
kidding. I want to know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I got a lot of siblings. Only one full-blooded, but it's all the same. Like they're all brothers and sisters. But my
So you
oldest
do have
sister from my
one
dad's.
natural sibling, and the rest are steps.
No, not
Halves.
half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my older sister's from my mom's first marriage. My older brother is from my mom and dad's marriage, and then my youngest siblings are from my dad's second marriage. So divorce runs in the family. Maybe our kids will break the cycle, but I'm better off for it. So, and they're better off for it. So it's not always bad.
Yeah. Were you a better dad after divorce?
Oh, 1,000. You can ask my kids. Such a better dad. Yeah, and I like to think that their mom was a better mom too. Like you have this weight of that on you, and once that weight is lifted, and you're in a place where like mentally you're really healthy and really happy, I feel like that bleeds out into a lot of different areas. So
Yeah, and I don't know whether I feel like I might have been better. I don't know. I've never asked the kids their opinion of it. But I do know that I had more time to dedicate to them after divorce.
Well, the time's more quality because you're not splitting it with your spouse. So
Yeah.
it's less time, but the time is quality.
No, it was, in my case, it was actually more time because, I would work late a lot of days, and so they would be, in their younger years, they would be close to bedtime or maybe even in bed when I got home. And then when I was divorced, I could work as late as I wanted to on those days that they weren't there.
Right.
So, on the days that they were going to be around, I could leave at a normal time. And so I felt like I got a lot, even though, we weren't in the same house every single day, I feel like I got a lot more actual time with them afterwards. So.
Yeah, I don't know that I had necessarily more time. I was just more. I was just a better dad overall, and like I've checked in with them on that. because I'm a very humble dad, I like to think, and I'm very self-reflective. And so I'll check in with them like, hey, am I doing okay as a dad? Like, is there something more or less that I could be doing? And have you seen the change in me? Because that was big for them. You know, they were older when they went through the divorce. Our oldest was 12 and our youngest was 8. And so they were younger going through, or older going through the divorce, and they could kind of rationalize a little bit. So it was like, hey, do you see the difference? And it was like a resounding yes, and all the reasons why. So, you know, that was, I found a lot of solace in that too, that like they get it, and that conversation helped them rationalize and understand as well. So it was you know, it's always hard. It was not as easy as I make it sound, but you know, having those very open, transparent conversations with them definitely helped.
Yeah. How much do you pay in alimony?
What's an alimony?
Never mind. We all want to know.
Now, child support, like I will say, like I offered to pay a good amount in child support for split custody. It was very important to me to have the kids half the time. Like that was a big thing for me. I wanted the kids half the time, and my ex-wife stayed at home for the 12 years we were married. And so I didn't want to put her out either. And so like that was my concession. It's like I want you to be able to provide for the kids, but I want half the time. So, you know, it all worked out great. I think she's better for it. I'm better for it. Yeah, it's all good. I think the kids are better for it too. You know, it took them a while. We put them, you know, they did therapy on their own accord. They wanted to do it. So they went through all that, and it was really good. It's definitely strengthened our relationship instead of broke it down.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, so it was great having you here.
No, we can't end on that. That's Joe's third sign off. Is this a record?
Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. We got to go. John's over there waiting. He's hungry.
So Craig, what does your wife do for a living?
No. You gotta get the fuck out of here. She also works at Classy Art.
We keep it in the family.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Classy Art, everybody come to the Classy Art party at October Market, which is on which night of the week?
October
Saturday night, October 25th. The Classy Art Party is back.
Saturday
bigger night. And better than ever.
I can tell the viewers that the Classy Art Party has a reputation of being an awesome party. And I happen to know that the budget this year is bigger than it has ever been in any previous year. So you got to expect massive entertainment value out of this party. You don't want to miss it. Anybody who is involved in this industry, everyone's invited. You're a rep, you're a competitor, you're a retailer, you're a garbage, well, maybe not.
Sanitation engineer.
Everybody is invited. You got to come this October, Saturday night, High Point Market. Whatever else is going on, we feel sorry for them because nobody should be there. This is the party to be at.
I do highly recommend
ad read, Joe. We should get more sponsors for the podcast.
It's going to be huge.
Ad read skills are off the charts.
I do want to say if you are having an event on Saturday night in High Point,
don't.
I highly recommend you don't. It's not going to go well. I'm trying to do this while being humble, but like if you haven't been to our party, you would understand if you had. And so just change it to a different night. I mean, I want your party to be a success as well. And so that's what I'm saying.
I'll come to your party. I'll come to your party on another night.
Yeah. If it's not Saturday night, we will send Joe as a tribute to come to your party. But yeah, don't do Saturday nights. It's not, we want the whole industry to thrive. And so don't do Saturday night.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be the best party you've ever been to, the most massive party. It's going to have all of the people there. Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the best party that you've ever seen.
It's gonna be huge.
I don't have the
think we need
voice
to
down,
call it.
but I think I have the catchphrases down.
The reputation sells itself. So we're super proud about it, and we're insanely excited to finally bring it back. We get calls every market, what night's the party, and after the whole COVID thing and then Blake having to deal with this thing, we're glad that we finally have the manpower that frees me up to put this thing to reality. So super excited about it. We'll see you guys there.
Yeah, thank you.
But with that, we gotta roll.
I'm gonna miss you
John
guys.
Glenn's got to get back to the moon, y'all.
I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining. We'll see you on the next episode of Two Homeboys.
Two Homeboys.
Well, that was nice because we were able to pick the best sellers and things like that. What you found was,
Bitch, I can see you falling asleep while I'm telling my
I'm
story.
not falling asleep. Look, just try it.
Chew it, be- Got a little chew it, be-